Red, blue, purple light friends. Red, blue, purple light friends. Facts. Red, blue, purple light friends. Red and blue, purple light friends. Facts. You can get to know the ledger, sacrilegious Sunday to melanin Monday. You can get to know the ledger, my love. Just open your third eye on Thursday. Lord, the food, the art, the clothes, the Vatican's getting exposed fast. We put the show on the road. You better stay on your toes. I was till the land focused on the ego. Then I open my heart, let go of the ego. Grand after grand, we stacking up these C notes. Facts, facts, yeah. We gon' put this shit on our backs. Facts, facts. We in your city, pull up where we at. Facts, facts. Peace, love and light. Peace, love to the family. Peace, love and light. To the family. Peace, love and light. To the family.
These days and time, black man, is going to be the time that you have been waiting for. You came here for a reason. Whatever pressure, whatever adversity, whatever the fuck you feel, I don't know what you feel, but whatever you may be feeling is going to push you, and it's going to provoke you, and it's either going to make you or break you, similar to how pressure busts pipes or the shit makes diamonds.
Red, blue, purple light friends. Red, blue, purple light friends. Facts. Red, blue, purple light friends. Red and blue, purple light friends. Facts. You can get to know the ledger, sacrilegious Sunday to melanin Monday. You can get to know.
Peace, family, peace, family, peace, family, peace, family, peace to you and yours, peace to you and yours. Welcome, 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 welcome. Third Eye Thursdays. You're now rocking with the best. Yes, this is your host for the evening, Brother Red Pillar, in the building. And that song that you just heard, ladies and gentlemen, that right there is the Facts remix by the 44 Tops. All right, shout out to the 44 Tops. Make sure if you don't have the 44 Tops album, you go and get that. I mean, go ahead and get that. Play that in the whip. People say that they want to hear good music. You know what I'm talking about? Go get your 44 Tops album. And if you get the physical copy, we will have it autographed. All right. And you could get that off Buy Me a Coffee. Yeah, I'm talking about Buy Me a Coffee. Shout out to everybody in the building on this early show. This is one of those shows, man. This is going to be one of those shows. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Make sure you get your pads and pencils and all of that together, because this is going to be one of them ones. I'm going to introduce you to a new KTL All-Star, and we're going to go for a ride as we continue this conversation that was started on Black Magic 363 New name 363 Empire. New name 363 Empire. By a show of hands, how many people in the building caught the episode on Black Magic 363 that we did the other day? Let me know. Let me know. All right. So today's show is a continuation of said conversation leading up, leading up to a monumental, groundbreaking, earth-shattering, pillar vibrating presentation that me and my brother, my twin brother, Blue Pillar, we're going to deliver on the 28th of September. All right. This right here, ladies and gentlemen, is called American Gods. Magafest Destiny 2.0. I mean, do you even need to ask why? Ha. Do you even need to ask why? You don't have to ask why. You don't have to ask why. Magafest Destiny, ladies and gentlemen. Captain Kirk edition. You know what I'm talking about? American Gods, though. Peep that. American Gods, though. I think this is the 10th one. American Gods 10. Magafest Destiny. Me and Blue is going to cook. If you saw Magafest Destiny 1, let me get a 1 in the chat. I might have to upload that on a private channel, of course. Putting it on my YouTube public channel is really committing career suicide at this point, because we've entered into a new realm. We've entered into a new space. This new space that we're in is going to be a little bit different than the old space. I'll just say that. I think it was yesterday, Donald Trump designated Antifa as a terrorist organization. Oh man, we're gonna get into some conversations today, ladies and gentlemen. Woo! We're gonna get into some conversations today. What does taking a knee in front of a Stargate mean? Wouldn't you like to know? Botanical. We'll get into that as the show goes along. But Magafest Destiny, it is full throttle ahead with them at this point. It's full throttle ahead. You know what I'm talking about? Full throttle. So we're gonna just leave it at that. And as you know, with this new censorship thing going on, we're gonna have to take that conversation off of YouTube and into a place where we are considered to have freedom of speech. Okay. So let's go ahead and do the roll call. Let's go ahead and do the roll call and see who's in the building on this fine Thursday. Let's go ahead and do the roll call, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, gods and goddesses, Moors and Mobites. We outside today, baby. You know what I'm talking about? We in the kitchen. Tucson, Arizona up in this. Shout out to Tucson. Shout out to the Virgos. Father Rich had the birthday, the born day yesterday. Salute to Father Rich, his rebranding, his new cycle and whatnot. I know he's gonna kill it. I look forward to it, and I'm all there for it. Dallas is in the building. We got Bakersfield in the building. We got St. Petersburg, East Flatbush, Jersey City in the building, Rome in the building, Colorado Springs, Colorado, Garden of the Gods. You know what I'm talking about? Vista, California. Yeah, we tapping in from some different type of places on the grid, and that's a beautiful thing. Ladies and gentlemen, did you touch grass today? Did you touch grass today? If not, when you finish watching this show, please do me a favor and go and touch grass, okay? The touch grass movement is is going to grow. It's going to grow in size until it outweighs this movement that we have where people are definitely have a Miami Vice to their vices. You feel me? There's vice on vice activity. You know what I'm talking about? DC proper, Gaithersburg, Maryland, Lawrence, Massachusetts, New Hampshire. In it, we got London. In it, we got Novato. Oh, Chi-Town. Pomona up in this thing. Belize is up in this thing. Florida's here. Hinesville is up in this thing. New Bedford is here. We outside. Belize, chilling. Yeah, you checking in. We got Houston. We have a problem. We have a problem. You could put me on a Bluetooth. You could put me maybe on a headphones, and you could put me on a phone in the grass or something. As you touch grass, just put this show on the Bluetooth while the sun is out. Henceforth, we're not doing this at nighttime and whatnot. It might be some nighttime in a few places, but for the most part, sun is out. You know what I'm talking about? So we're giving you the opportunity to get that vitamin D. Because getting vitamin D, having your feet on the earth, right? Having your feet screwed into the earth. Everybody can't do this. I'm not doing that. I'm sitting in the office with the kicks that go. Hold on. Hold on. You know, I'm sitting here with the kicks that match the shirt. Shout out to Kobe and whatnot. I'm sitting here with the kicks that match the shirt. You know? But for those who have the opportunity to do it. Go and do it. You feel me? I encourage it. I touched grass today. I'm not better than you. I'm just trying to be consistent, and I'm just trying to be persistent. That is a test that I'm putting myself through, and I encourage many others to push themselves and to propel themselves in that direction. Yo, shout out to Bud Crawford. You know what I'm talking about? Like shout out to Big Bud in the building. You know what I mean? Shout out to Big Bud in the building. You know what I mean? Big Bud, where they had the Big Beautiful build. This is the Big Bud. You know what I mean? Follow his steps. He's pretty disciplined. He's pretty focused. He pretty much knows what his bonus. No, what was the word? Bonu. I be getting it mixed up. Sinu Bunam. Your purpose, your goal in life, the Big Bud blueprint. I'm gonna probably have a Substack written on that and whatnot. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I am very exuberant about today's show. I've been talking about this. We've been leading up to this point. We have arrived to this point. The great divine is speaking through signs up in this joint. Everything is going according to plans up in this joint. The universe is bending to our will up in this joint. Consistency is still key up in this joint. So we are being consistent in what it is that we do over here on Know the Ledger 444, formerly Know the Ledge, right? KTL Plus. Since the days of Blog Talk Radio, leading up to the days of Sonetta TV and House of Consciousness and Baba TV, leading up to Black Magic 363, leading up to 363 Empire, leading up to Know the Ledge TV, leading up to Melanin Monday, Third Eye Thursdays, Sacrilegious Sundays, Saturday Night Live. Consistency, 700 shows on Blog Talk Radio, Tuesdays and Fridays, 9 p.m. Only missed about 3 shows. Consistency. Black Magic 363, when the playlist ever gets put together, You'll see it's about 400 to 500 videos between Red Pill and Blue Pill right on Black Magic 363. We started in, I believe, 2015 or 16 on that platform. Sinetta TV, Sinetta TV Plus, Sinetta Studios, House of Conscious, Black News 101, Black News 102. Proliferated all of those channels. Consistency, persistent, and the message stays the same. The message is always consistent. Red Pill shows up and he gives out the red pill. Not the red pill, the movement that has been perverted. Remember, they pervert good things in this simulation, right? They pervert good things in assimilation and whatnot. So they'll take something that's very positive and very impactful and a name that has wild energy attached to it, and they'll create the red pill movement that has so many different meanings that it's hard to zero in on what it really even means. But what red pillar means and what blue pillar means and what know the ledge means and what KTL means and what we stand for and what we've been delivering to the community is constant consistency and persistency of banging on the simulation, not the beast, the simulation. Breaking us out of the confusion, illusion of the matrix, collapsing the quote unquote wave. That's what we've been doing. And I don't have to toot my own horn. All I'm doing is giving you a little bit of insight as to, why we are considered to be the premier minds and the premier voices when it comes to topics and subjects such as this in the world, right? That everybody woke up in. We all woke up in the same world. We all woke up on the same plane of existence, especially if you can hear the words coming out of my mouth right now. Theoretically, we're on the same frequency inside of the same dimension and whatnot. So we woke up in a dimension where if we had a word to say in the public on social media about one individual, the one standing right there, okay, with the inflated head. If we woke up today different than if we woke up on September 8th, because if we woke up on September 8th, if we woke up on September 9th, we could have tweeted anything that we wanted about this man. We could have said anything that the freedom of speech allows us to say, because I believe that there is parameters, right? There's lines that one should not cross with their speech, even though it is considered to be free. However, there are many signs that are pointing to the fact that freedom of speech is no longer free. And somehow, some way, they turned Charlie Luther King into a meme martyr overnight.
To this day.
Wasn't any conversations like that before that. There wasn't whispers about his greatness and the fact that he needed to be celebrated and we should put our hands on our hearts. Like, we woke up in a world where if you had something objective, forget negative, objective, if you had something contrary to say, if you even posed the question, you will be either fired, you could get a visit, you could get removed from institutions, you could get removed from a flight. So you are now all bearing witness, collectively, not selectively, collectively, you are all bearing witness to the birth, because it's already born, okay, of the social credit system in the USA. Right? You have now borne witness to the birth of the social credit system in America. Not only are you bearing witness to a social credit system, if you were watching and you were not distracted and you saw the bombing of a boat leaving Venezuela, allegedly having cargo that was conducive to what the narcos move, right? Uncontrolled substances, considered to be a felony, yet and still not considered to be a felony punishable by death, right? Moving to yayo. Last time I checked was not a death sentence. However, we've all watched the government of the USA escalate their quote unquote program, and their war on drugs have crossed over into a full-blown war. It's taking casualties to the point where if they deemed a certain group an enemy of the state, if they deem a certain group homeland terrorists, if they deem a certain group to be black extremists, nationalists, or black national extremists, or BIE, right? BEI, black. What was it? Because it rhymed with DEI. That's why I remember the black identity extremists, or was it the black extremist identity? Somebody help me out. You know, because that's definitely about to show up in somebody's 16 bars that they're gonna get me on as a feature. It was BIE, right? They wanted man to DIE. They created. Look at the irony of the whole situation. We qualified on Black Magic 363 on Radiohead that we're dealing with necromancers, and this is a necromancy, occult, meme magic, sigil magic, dark magic, chaos magic type of environment that we find ourselves in right now. So they play with the words and whatnot. So BIE, right? And they playing with DEI because DEI is DIE2, right? And just by them invoking it. Keep in mind that if I were to say to the average melanated person, especially those who we have family members, friends, co-workers, and extended friend zones, right? We could easily say that they play with these words, that they out here spirit cooking. For those of our people who walking around with crosses around their neck and they praying to Mr. Charlie, and they calling on Charlie Luther King, and they crying over Charles and Charles. Yeah, we know. We know that those people are not like us. We know that those people, if we were to ask those people, do you know that you're at war? Those people will hold their hearts and say, the audacity of you to ask me such a question. I'm a taxpaying citizen. How could I be at war? And then if you ask them, shit, do you know anything about the culture war? And they'll say, what say you? I say, do you know anything about the culture war? And they'll look around and say, what is the culture war? And I'll say to them, that's the war that they declared on you. And they say, who's they? I say, Mr. Charlie. Mr. Charlie and them. You know what I'm talking about? The White Walkers. Winter is coming. The White Walkers. The Ice King. The ones beyond the ice wall. Yeah, them. They declare culture war. And do you know what culture war is? It's a real war. They going to war against the culture. They declared war against the culture. Then they declared war against woke. Then they declared war against melanated people who had the audacity to want to be teachers of their history. With that debacle that was taking place in Florida, where they were denying the curriculum in all of these schools in Texas and Florida and all of these places, where they were denying the curriculum, even though the curriculum is false. So there are some truths to that demonstration. However, if none of our people are receiving proper instructions and proper details moving forward, somebody is not being responsible. When I saw Trump up there and he was designating that group Antifa as homeland terrorists, but he failed to mention any other of those other groups who have a laundry list of quote unquote bodies, a laundry list of capital crimes, a laundry list of hate crimes, a laundry list of terrorism. They were not mentioned. You know who's about to be mentioned. You know, if you understand how this narrative is being hijacked, then you might understand what is about to take place and what is taking place before your very own eyes. Let's go to the tape, to some of the current developments. Since the last time we met up, so many things have been taking place. Oh man, Jason is Jasoning. Jason is Jasoning. Project 25, Colonizer's Playbook, past and present. Jason is Jasoning. Jason is Jasoning, ladies and gentlemen. Please believe it. But we got to put everything into proper context, because that's something that they're not doing. And I don't know who they is, but they not doing it. They are not putting things into proper context. That's why we have to come along and stitch things together. Leading up to this monumental presentation that we'll be doing, American Gods 10. MAGAfest Destiny, y'all. MAGAfest Destiny. Please believe me when I tell you it's going down. The structure is unraveling before our very own eyes. Their own people. We're just documenting what it is that we're seeing. This is for educational purposes only. And I'm purposely playing video clips from other people just for the simple fact that we are the media and we are keeping the narrative going. So let's go ahead and play some of these clips.
But according to this American lawyer, not only is America not a Christian nation, but according to this American lawyer and theologian, it's a demonic nation. Let's talk about it. Hi, I'm Colton. I grew up a Pentecostal pastor's kid, went to school to get degrees in historical Christian theology, and I don't think January 6th is anywhere close to one of the worst things that's happened in American history. But it is a particularly good illustration of what this video is about. We saw an enraged mob of violent Christian nationalists carry American flags and Jesus Save banners into the Capitol during an attempted coup. And in the aftermath, I remember seeing one pastor say that this was a revival, not a riot. I saw another pastor say that the insurrection was comparable to the walls of Jericho falling down. That's how they viewed it. And more than a few Christians defended it as the hand of God moving through patriots. There was this guy named William Stringfellow who was a civil rights attorney, an activist, and a theologian who lived in Harlem during the 1960s. He wrote this book called An Ethic for Christians and Other Aliens in a Strange Land. Stringfellow used the language from Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12 to talk about America being the demonic principality of the power of death. In this passage, someone, purportedly Paul, although that's hotly contested by the scholarship, says that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. And in context, this is essentially naming the unseen forces that work through empires and institutions and ideologies. Not just like metaphors, but Stringfellow actually took this seriously. For him, these powers and principalities are the spiritual and institutional realities that shape human life, and often without our awareness. Stringfellow didn't think that demonic principalities came wearing horns and red capes, but they came dressed in flags and standing in pulpits, using the language of freedom, family, and faith. He saw them as real forces that were spiritual, systemic, and seductive. He saw them operating as governments, corporations, and even churches. Really any institution that takes on life of its own and demands allegiance, resists accountability, and functions to preserve its own survival at the expense of truth. Stringfellow said that these forces aren't always obviously evil, that they pretend to be good, because they disguise themselves as righteous, and they speak in the name of God.
Israel are the Nazis. They kind of remind me of the Nazis. Boys, Israel are the Nazis. They kind of remind me of the Nazis. They're reminiscent of the Nazis. They kind of seem like Nazis. They are the fucking Nazis. The Nazis did not lose World War II. That is a fairy tale that has been fed to you by the fucking media, who is run by the Nazis, not Jewish people. Guess what? The whole Jewish people run everything is a Nazi psyop, and y'all are still falling for it. What the f***? Wake up. Nuremberg was a fucking fabrication, bro. Imagine how easy it would have been in the 40s to do it if they could do this shit today, the stuff that they do to us today and lie to us today. Imagine having a couple hundred people in a fake sham fucking trial and then flying them around the world afterwards to hide them to Argentina, to the fucking mountains of Wyoming and Montana, to the fucking upstate New York, to Russia, to fucking everywhere. They're everywhere. The Nazis spread out. Do I need to go over Operation Paperclip, where they even admit that they fucking let 2,000 Nazis in? And that is an understatement at best, because the CIA was fully filled with Nazis from the moment it was fucking started. So at least 10,000, if not fucking way more. Dude, the entire island of Long Island is filled with Nazis. Why are all of the Nazi companies still around? IG Farben, Volkswagen, fucking Hugo Boss, Chanel, all of these Nazi companies, all these Nazi fucking banks, bro. You want to know what Nazi stands for? National Zionist. Not National Socialist, that would be NATO, you fucking idiots. National Zionist. What the fuck are the Israelis? Oh, they're Zionists? They're kind of like National Zionists, right? So they're Nazis too. Oh wait, they are Nazis. Why can't they do fucking 23andMe tests? Because you'd find out that their last name is fucking Himmler, Hitler, fucking Hess, Goring, fucking all of them. Reinhard Gehlen. Alan Dulles was a Nazi and he let all these fucking Nazis in. Elon must be throwing up the fucking Zig Heil without even questioning it, without even thinking straight for a second, because he has no fear, because he knows the fucking Nazis are still in charge. Wake the fuck up. Please. Love you. Bye.
The Civil War is about to begin. No, it's not. It already began decades ago, and it doesn't look how you think it looks, with like Americans with their muskets going pew pew from grassy knolls. No, it is a civil war of consciousness, of reality, of the fact that we live in such disparate realities and we cannot agree on a common reality. That is what the Civil War is. And so when we have this division, what are we really dividing from? A shared sense of reality. So when you have these huge spectacles and every one of us has all these opinions and they're like, well, I think I figured it out, I understand, they're intentionally planting Easter eggs of confusion all over the place. They're like, let's write a book about Charlie Kirk's death like 5 minutes before it happens and put it on Amazon and see if they figure it out. It's like, yeah, we're going to figure it out. We're going to look into things and we're going to get confused. And then some of us are going to think we know one thing and some of us are going to think we know the other thing. It's all a game. All the world is a stage. And that's why Palantir and the AI is so important, because what is Palantir doing? It's harvesting. It's harvesting our behavior. It is collecting data on how we react to things. So then they'll just do more spectacles and then we will react and then they will have more data on our behavior. And the surveillance cameras that they're just blasting all over these cities, they're not to protect you. They are to collect your data, because what they're trying to do is predict how we behave, how we act. It's predictive programming.
Gentlemen, pre-crime is officially here.
I am now about to launch Gideon, America's first ever AI threat detection platform built specifically for law enforcement. It scrapes the internet 24/7 using an Israeli-grade ontology to pull specific threat language and then routes it to local law enforcement. It's a 24/7 detective. It never sleeps, and it's going to get us in front of these attacks. I've got a dozen agents
Officially here. Ladies and gentlemen, pre-crime is officially here.
I am now about to launch Gideon, America's first ever AI threat detection platform built specifically for law enforcement. It scrapes the internet 24/7 using an Israeli-grade ontology to pull specific threat language and then routes it to local law enforcement. It's a 24/7 detective. It never sleeps, and it's going to get us in front of these attacks. I've got a dozen agencies on board, Trace. I just unloaded a major Northeast agency with over 2,700 sworn. This is America's early warning system.
It's America's early warning system to stop anti-Semitic attacks. And yes, it's going to be the Israeli government who are going to be the ones ordering the arrest of American citizens for crimes they've yet to commit. Oh, and one last thing, if you guys have ever heard of predictive programming, well, fun fact, the Israeli AI predictive policing technology is called Gideon, but Gideon also happens to be a character from the pre-crime division department in the movie Minority Report. Coincidence? You let me know.
That screw little girls. So and our leaders are low-life scum that screw little girls. So the Jews can screw America. That's what's happening in this country. I just said it. That's what's going on in this country. And our FBI is corrupt. The Supreme Court is corrupt. The Justice Department is corrupt. The news media is corrupt. The whole country is corrupt. Because we've walked away from Almighty God and we've allowed Kabbalah-practicing Jews to defile the nation. Put that video out. Go ahead and clip this video and send it out. I dare you. You won't do it because you're scared that the truth may get out to the American people. I'm had it up to here with the corruption in this country.
Wow.
Little children being raped for the benefit of Israel.
Wow.
That's all it's about, Doc. Little American children being raped for the benefit of Israel. American politicians raping little American girls to be videotaped by Israeli Mossad so that Israel can blackmail American politicians.
What?
That's the state of America today.
Got your back, my nigga. I know he wouldn't appreciate me saying that, but I don't care, because it's one struggle. Whites, blacks, against the Jews. So he might not like me saying he's my nigga, but we're all niggas, okay? I'm a nigga, you're a nigga. We're America's niggas. We're the world's niggas. We're the niggas of the world, you know? Israel wants to kill us all. We're all niggas. Israel trying to keep us all down. Am I right? That's right. That's right. Israel's trying to keep us all down. We're all niggas. We're all niggas here. It's okay. White, black, Cuban or Asian. White, black, red, brown, or yellow. We are all niggas to them. We are all goyim.
Breaking news in the movie industry, y'all. Marvel, which is Disney, the biggest movie making machine empire on earth, they are pulling out of the United States, y'all. You heard me. The Fantastic Four, the next Avengers, Spider-Man, they are all moving out of the United States and moving across the water to the United Kingdom. I thought Marvel was located out in California, but the empire is actually in Georgia. And you know what just took place last week in Georgia at that Hyundai plant, right? About 600 Korean people left the plant, and now the plant is in bad condition. And now Marvel, Disney is pulling out.
Raise your hand if you love Marvel action movies. I'm one of those guys. Well, Marvel, which is mostly based in Georgia, has decided to make the decision to leave the United States of America with the loss of up to 20,000 jobs. It's leaving Georgia. It's mainly going to the United Kingdom with some production facilities to Canada. And the reason why it's leaving the United States of America is because it's too expensive to do business in the United States. And also, United States is a bit nuts right now.
So that's 20,000 people out of a job in the state of Georgia once again. And there's talks around town that a whole bunch of celebrities, including Jay-Z and Beyonce, after the wildfires that happened in Los Angeles, they purchased a 58-acre estate in the United Kingdom. Ellen DeGeneres moved to the United Kingdom. Rosie O'Donnell moved to Ireland, I believe. Christina Milian moved to the United Kingdom. Lindsay Lohan. Everybody's leaving the United States, y'all, because they know what's about to happen. And it's not like we care about where these celebrities are going, because that world is over with. But Marvel, the biggest movie making conglomerate, y'all, the shit is here, y'all. Did y'all know about this? Let me know down in the comments below, y'all. Let's continue to get it. Peace in.
That's a good segue. That is a good segue to open up the floor and introduce you to our guest for tonight. All right. My good brother, if you're in the building, now is the time to pull up so we could get this thing started. I wanted it to end on the Marvel conglomerate, the Marvel empire leaving Georgia. Them leaving Georgia leaves a vacuum. Them leaving Georgia is a telltale sign that another Marvel can rise up in Georgia. You don't need Marvel Universe when you can create your own. Henceforth, while we're doing this master class, AI Masters for Black Magic 363, me and Savon Bomar, because it is time for us to take our destiny in our own hands. And tonight's show is going to just show you so much. It's going to give you so much information about what is taking place on the internet, on social media, what's going on with our quote unquote, on the unseen, in the spirit realm, or what I would say in the spirit cooking realm. Okay. We have to be very mindful of that. Okay. As we prepare, okay, you're here. As we get ready for our guests, I'm going to have a word from the sponsors. You know we got to pay the bills, and we will be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Word from the sponsors, and we will be right back.
The gods of intelligence aren't myths. They're here. Artificial intelligence is rewriting the rules of power right now. Will you master it or be mastered by it? Most are drowning in AI hype, hesitating, confused, while the future slips into the hands of those who act first. That's why Black Magic 363 presents AI Masters, the Gods of Intelligence, with Seven Bomar and Red Pillar, two visionaries revealing how to align with AI to elevate your life and unlock true power. Seats are limited. Energy is high. History is unfolding now. Click below and reserve your spot for AI Masters, the Gods of Intelligence. The future belongs to those who move first.
What is infinite treasures? Like all things born out of the genius of necessity, infinite treasures in the spirit of the ancient earthkeeper tradition of Kephara, the scarab beetle. We gather all manner of earth relics, high energy hand-picked crystals, stones, minerals, and pure metals, and weave them into sacred geometric forms that elevate consciousness. 30 years of research and development have revealed secrets to creation. Sacred geometry is the structured form of mathematics that brings about manifestation. Laws that manifest on Earth can also transcend through space and time. What is infinite treasure?
Yes, I. Salute to Infinite Treasures. All right. Salute to Infinite Treasures. Salute to Infinite Treasures. Is the event down to 1 day now? No, the event is a 2-day event, November 1st, November 2nd. On the first day, it will be Brother Red Pill from 12 to 6 p.m. And on the second day, it will be Sevon Bomar from 12 to 6 p.m. This is on Zoom only. We will be with Black Magic 363 for the AI Masters Workshop. Shout out to everybody that's been signing up. I see y'all in the Discord. We've been building in the Discord. I'm going to bring Hit Say You through the Discord as well. Without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I want to bring the good brother onto the stage. Our good brother. Without any further ado, I want to present to you our good brother, none other than Hit Sayu Aku.
Yo.
Peace to the God.
Yo, sound good? Everything good? You can hear me?
Yes, sir.
Say
yes,
love.
sir. Did I pronounce your name properly?
Oh, Hitsuya Aku, live and direct from the mothership. This not going some other shit for sure.
That's right. That's
Hitsuya
right.
Aku.
Hitsuya Aku. Interesting. Introduce yourself to my audience. Let them know who you are. Let them know some of the works that you've been doing and whatnot.
Yeah. Say less. Live and direct from the mothership. This not going some other shit. My name is Hitsuya Aku, Sovereign Identity Architect at your service. I come to you not as the reality, but as the myth, because that's what every brand is, a myth. So by blending brand strategy, digital literacy, cybernetic systems thinking, and Afrofuturist philosophy, I help melanated creators just like y'all over there remember who the fuck they are, so we can build empires that reflect your soul and not this godless algorithm, all right? Ore wa kaku ga chikwanda yo. Translation, I'm built different, and so are you. That's what we on right now. That's what we on today. We dealing with that algorithmic ghost today, yeah?
Yes. Indeed.
All right.
Indeed, man.
So
let's get let's
you want to kick
get
it
right into it. I want to walk right into it. I want to walk our people through this matrix.
All right. So what we're here to talk about today is the dead internet theorem. I'm moving past the theory. I'm moving way past the theory. There's too much evidence to prove that Web 2.0 is dying right in front of your motherfucking eyes. This is a Galleria mall for ghosts. Many of you can sense that as you move through the streams, as you move through the feeds, as you move through the different timelines of these different platforms. You can tell something's off. You can tell something don't necessarily feel right. It's starting to reach that uncanny valley kind of energy where it's sort of like the internet we used to know, but something just ain't clicking. And this is what we're here to talk about today, right? So before we go any further into the dead internet theorem, what I really want to do is lay a groundwork, right? I want to set the stage for everybody so we really understand what it is that we're dealing with from that common space. And that requires us to use first principles thinking, or what we would call axiomatic thinking, right?
Yes.
You're already familiar with this. The 7 natural laws of Tahuti, axiomatic thinking, first principles thinking. We strip all the nuance and extra shit. We get down to the ground level of it. And then we actually have a different conversation about what it is we're dealing with, what we're trying to solve, and how we're actually going about solving it, right? So I got 3 first principles that we need to discuss, that we need to talk about, and that we need to get very, very fucking clear in order to actually wage the kind of culture war that's going to need to be waged in order for us, again, as melanated creators, melanated innovators, melanated disruptors, melanated entrepreneurs, to be able to leverage the situation and come out with the win. All right. I'm only searching for the dub. I don't hang with losers. I'm so serious. First, when attention becomes a commodity,
right,
the system rewards whatever scales.
Right.
Bots scale, templates scale, content farms scale.
Yep.
Humans do not, at least not to the same magnitude and the same degree, not without the proper infrastructure in place.
Right. Like you're saying, like marketing has to be set up.
Yes.
A street team, you know, some type of budget has to be allocated. Word of mouth has to be initiated.
Yes.
So in order for a human to scale, some type of structure, some type of framework has to be set up.
Has to be. There's no other way, right?
Yes, yes.
You have to have all of the necessary platforming, the necessary infrastructure, the necessary messaging. You need to have a good narrative understanding. And this is why I deal with myth, because myth is the ultimate narrative structure, right? We've been passing on the hero's journey for hundreds of thousands, if not millions of years, depending on who you get your sources from. Right?
And the Arsaurian myth.
Yep. There you go. There you go. That Arsaurian drama, the Elysian drama, the superhero journey is the ultimate narrative framework for every fucking sovereign on the planet. And I want us to kind of have this conversation. Yes, we're having it as a melanated family right now, but understand we're in a stage in the conversation where even other niggas ain't really on this type of time, right? So you got to go with who is actually in flow with you. And this is why I'm really dealing and leaning into the sovereignty aspect of it. Who has the sovereign mind? Who has that Moorish kind of build to them? You see what I'm saying? Niggas that's really trying to stand on their own business as a global entity, right? So because humans don't scale, and these platforms are businesses first and foremost, right? They optimize for engagement and ad revenue. And this is why I got into branding. I realized that if you try tracing the money, like they always say, all of this shit goes back to the ads. Every single last piece of this goes back to the ad agencies, the marketing departments, the brand designers. This is where this shit is all going back to. I want you to understand the American dream is a branding campaign, a marketing campaign. They sold you an idea.
That's a fact.
They sold you a perception of a reality of what life could be here, and then robbed you right in front of your face while convincing you that you weren't being robbed. That's the core of branding, that irrational emotional connection that makes you believe in some shit, even when all the evidence says that ain't it. That's really what it all comes down to on a deeper vibe. So the lowest cost producers flood the field. The result is a timeline that favors volume over value, quantity over quality. These bots can push out 100 videos in the same time it would take you to start the script for one.
Right.
How are you competing against that?
Can't
What's the
compete.
real. There you
Remember,
go.
Neo
They're trying to push you out the competition.
Remember, Neo was overwhelmed by Agent Smith at some point in their altercation. It was just too much. You know what I mean? He was multiplying too much on him. The bots are the equivalent to Agent Smith, ladies and gentlemen, in the Matrix.
Big time.
That is what you, when we're talking about bots, just envision the disruptor, the great disruptor, the glitch, or rather the remember, he was like, the Matrix don't even want, they say that I don't even exist. According to them, I don't even exist. So according to Google and Facebook and all of them, they like, what bots?
There you go. It's
but
all
they probably the
all a
ones
game
that
of
created the
plausible
bot army.
deniability.
Huh?
It's all a game of plausible deniability.
Yes.
Boom. So I want to touch on scaling, just for those who might be new to this conversation. I'm so invested in this world that one of the things that I realized was that I've picked up a lot of lexicon that I find normal because I'm engaged with it so deeply, but that the audience might not understand because they're not in that same world of relations, right? Going back to ontology, tool being, right? They're not in the world of relations that I'm in. So a term like scale might not make sense if you don't have the proper framing, right? So when we say something scales, we mean it grows fast, wide, cheap, without much extra effort. Low effort, high reward. That's what's good scaling is defined as. So like I said, a bot can crank out 1 million posts and then get 200 likes on each one of them posts, and then drop 50 comments on each one of them posts in the same time it would take you to script one motherfucking video. and it'll only cost a fraction of a fucking penny per post. These niggas is out competing you economically if that's the game that we're playing. All right? A template can be reused 1,000 times with almost no new work. Niggas can sell you the same shit over and over and over again and never actually have to update, add, the same template works every time. All right, here's something that Red Pill can definitely speak to, something that he's definitely keen to, the content farms and how they're utilizing low-wage workers from like third world countries to mass produce content on a super low. You see what I'm saying? So this is what scaling looks like in a dead internet. These bots outproduce you, and the algorithm prefers that output. So the algorithm doesn't even like humans. It's not designed for you. That's why all of these social media platforms, their general life cycle for a post, less than 24 hours. You got to stay on there every day, constantly feeding it, churn and burn, constantly feeding this algorithmic parasite. So again, the scaling is the ability to multiply output with minimal cost or effort. And this is where we have to talk about the convergence and the divergence of the attention economy and the creator economy, right? The attention economy is going to be defined by the platforms like YouTube, TikTok, Meta, Kick, Twitch, all of them.
Snapchat, Instagram,
boom,
all that.
All of the Web 2 social media, social networking platforms, that is the attention economy. Because their main interest is to monetize the attention, right, via the ad dollars.
Right. It's like Liar Cohen said, we're going to monetize your eyeballs. We figured out a business model to make you pay with your eyes. You don't have to have no money anymore. That's why they gave the music away. Let's go. Keep cooking. Let's go.
This is also a part of the social credit system that you're talking about. How are they going to track you through your eyes if they're not looking through the fucking nigga? They know what you're paying attention to for real, for real.
Facts.
You see what I'm saying? TikTok gave the Chinese full access to your phone, and the Chinese already got a social credit system. So what do we? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Conversation's already done and dealt with. They've really locked in on this plan. So they're optimizing for engagement, ad revenue, and again, scale. The advertisers are the real ops behind a lot of this shit because that's what all of these platforms are looking to serve: ad revenue, ad
Right.
dollars, AdSense.
Look, everything changed on YouTube in 2017 with the adpocalypse. I even have videos with Baba TV when I have a specific videos about the apocalypse. That's when
Facts.
everything shifted. I remember the
Facts.
big boys, and the reason why the apocalypse jumped off is because the people from over there in Tel Aviv was getting exposed on YouTube so much that they started running to the advertisers and saying, let's go to YouTube and let's go to these platforms and go through the ad dollars and say we're pulling our commercials off of platforms like House of Consciousness, those
Facts.
waves when they were doing 1 million and stuff like that. That was
Yeah, y'all was going
shaking.
viral
That
consistently
was
back
just
in the day.
right. That was disrupting. It's that natural order has already been disrupted. So people don't look at it now as it's a disruptor. But when
Right.
it was dropping like bunker bombs. And
Mm-hmm.
they started something called the apocalypse. That's when they started they said, well, go ahead. Yeah.
Boom. I'm about to finish your statement. That's when they really announced that they were turning all of the users into a motherfucking product. You are now commodified.
Yeah.
They might as well. So if they want to talk about mark of the beast and serial codes and all that, dog, they already got you. They don't even need to do all the fancy shit the way they described it in the Bible, all dramatic. They already got you locked in. You already are the product. You're not the customer. That's actually the basis of Web 2.0. It's the read and write web, right? You post your content to these platforms, right? You can now have a dialogue on these platforms, but you don't own any of the content you post on these platforms once you post it there. This is the main difference between Web 2 and Web 3. Web 3 is the read, write, own web. Whatever you put up, you can monetize directly because we'll talk about it in a second, a chain of provenance. You can prove beyond the shadow of a doubt that there is an authentic origin to whatever the fuck you put out. The same way that they have to prove the authentic origin of these multi-million-dollar paintings that are 200 some years old and across mad hands. Here you go. So you are the product at this point, and that's the nature of the attention economy. They are using you and your attention to drive metrics in order to secure investment and funding from ad agencies, ad revenue, right? And when we say ad agencies, let's cut through the bullshit on that one. We're talking about big corporations. They're the ones running ads everywhere.
Right. Which is a
there is no
spin-off.
such thing as the advertising industry separate from the corporate interests that are being advertised.
Right. Edward Bernays, Century of Self, the TV show Mad Men. You know, like you said,
Especially
the
Mad Men.
foundation of America is the dream. So then we go into simulation because they have created the simulation. They are simulacra simulation. The world that we
Yes, sir.
exist in, based off of the advertisers, based off of the quote unquote the Department of Propaganda that turned into the press release, that turned into publicists and everything. But it's all about manipulating the simulation.
So if we talking about the Nazis in regards to all of this tying in, the Nazis were master propagandists.
That's why I had
Master
to play
propagandists.
that in the beginning to put into context. Every single clip that I played before we started this conversation is to just give people an understanding as to why and how what it is that we'll be breaking down is taking place. So when you understand that the Nazis took over NASA, social media, and everything, they are behind Hollywood and all of that stuff. So they are behind Disney and NASA. They're behind the manipulations of reality. They're behind creating the simulation, creating this quote unquote real world, but REEL. The further away that they got you from your world, your reality, your plane of existence, is how they're able to play with you in their
Exactly.
court that they're building. But go ahead, let's do it. Let's
All
keep
right,
cooking.
boom. So now that we understand that they've already set up certain levels of the intention economy and you are the product, you are the consumable, delectable Negro. You get it? You're being consumed now because you're the product, delectable Negro. All right. Let's talk about the creator economy, which again, these two economies are not separate and mutually exclusive. They're the same thing, but two competing interests, right? This would be no different than a pack of lions and a pack of wolves sharing the same territory. You see what I'm saying? They're going after the same game, right? They're using similar tactics, but for different outcomes, right? So the creator economy is defined by individuals and communities. So we're talking peer to peer and direct to community, D to C, P to P, D to C. All right. I'm building. So we're talking writers, artists, entrepreneurs, thought leaders, any form of innovation, whether that be STEM, philosophical, socioeconomic, financial, it doesn't matter. The creator economy is for these people, the individual themselves and the communities that rally around whatever it is that they're doing. The main interest is to monetize creativity, to create sustainable systems of wealth based on IP. So we're turning attention into a sustainable value system, right?
Right.
So what we're trying to optimize for in the creator economy is authenticity, resonance, and community. I know for a fact you niggas can get on the internet right now and everyone's hollering about authenticity, authenticity, authenticity. Why is everyone using that word so fucking much? Because the internet's dead and all this shit's fake. And that's what the pain point is. In branding, we talk about building a brand through understanding your client's pain point. You have to understand the things that are getting in your audience's way. And then you take it upon your motherfucking self to position your brand in such a way where you're saying, hey, yo, I know you got this issue, but look at this solution that I built for that.
Right.
And then you show them how that solution was tailor-made specifically for them. And that's what builds the trust. Because again, as a personal brand strategist in particular, niggas don't give a fuck who you are until you prove that you can do something relevant for them. They don't care. Niggas love Red Pill because Red Pill done gave us 10 plus years worth of free game. Nigga, I'm here because I watched this nigga get his shit off day after day, night after night, all the way from 125th to Atlanta the whole time. And this shit inspired me. This will, matter of fact, if I'm being real, this is what's inspired my sovereign identity architect role. I saw a sovereign identity in real time. I saw a nigga stand on his own square and build something beautiful. I saw a nigga that wasn't conforming to the algorithm, stayed true to himself, found systems to bring order and structure to what would have just been regular nigga chaos. Right? You found the order, you crystallized something, you fractalized something, and it was real. It was impactful. You're not an influencer. You're more like a fucking comet. You see what I'm saying? I'm not talking about influence and sway. I'm talking about real deal impact and hard-hitting change that niggas delivered in real time. This is the value of the creator economy. You're already seeing the value of the creator economy. I don't got to do much academic. I don't got to do too much of that to prove the point. Authenticity. Is this nigga not authentic as fuck? Is this nigga not real? Resonance. Do you not feel it in your heart every time you come here that Red Pill, Rich Phil is here to actually help you monetize your dream into reality? If that's not what you feel, why the fuck are you even in the community? Simple as that. That's the creator economy. The audience is the community. It's not just traffic. You see what I'm saying? These aren't just numbers on a screen. These are souls on a journey. This is where branding takes a huge left turn. You see what I'm saying? When we start to get back to the primal origins of what branding even is. You can look it up. They'll always talk about branding being using a metallic instrument heated up to burn a certain symbol into the flesh of an animal in order to denote ownership, right? That's branding at the anthropological core of this shit. So that means that all personal branding boils down, or all branding in general boils down to personal branding, because that symbol meant something to your community. That's new to look at that symbol and say, oh, yeah, that's John.
That's son in them.
Yeah, that's son in them. Niggas outside your community don't know that symbol. But hold on, here's the next part. If niggas outside that community do know your symbol, oh, now you really branding. Now you really in the game, because now your reputation precedes you.
Facts. Your logo, your sigil.
There you go. So it's all about a concept of symbolic compression. Branding is a ritual technology, an intentional act used to shape time, energy, and emotion, used as a tool or a system in order to manipulate reality in a particular way, right? So branding is a ritual technology,
right,
based on symbolic compression. It's about collapsing the full multitude, the full multifaceted nature of a being into a singular point of reference. So this is where we, again, I'm a slow walk this, right? But this, you can already see the concepts of the hyper reality in this. You can already see the concepts of abstraction in this, because again, we're using a symbol to make reference to a living entity, a sovereign being, not a legal fiction, not a straw man.
Right.
A straw man is a hyper reality. All right. So that's the creator economy on that end. That's the nature of branding on another end. That's how this all ties together. The true origins of branding, the true origins of personal branding all tie back to this ritual technology of symbolic compression that allowed you to communicate yourself to your community in the most effective and resonant way. It allowed you to monetize. It allowed you to sustain and feed yourself. Hold on. It allowed you to sustain and feed yourself.
Right.
Based on your own creative essence. I don't know what else could be more sovereign than that. You being able to go outside and live a life based on what actually matters to you.
Right.
What's actually
Kings
hidden
County.
in your heart.
Know the ledge. Kings
Boom.
County. Know the ledge.
There you go.
Stream Chasers. Right. Ocean 14. Ocean like Goldwater. Soldier Culture. KTL University. Facts Initiative.
Shit,
You know
Soul
what I mean?
Ionics. Shout outs to KT.
So Ionic. Then we had a store out here called a Duat in 2009 in Little 5 Points. We had the Duat storefront where Royal Immortal, Ghetto Shaman, and KT was running that store. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, Netterflix. You know, Netterflix.
And you're
You know
doing it authentically.
Netterverse. Yeah, Netterverse.
So let's speak to the nature of the tension, right? We have to talk about the static on the signal before we can phase modulate and phase conjugate that signal and perfect it back to its origin point and really start working on this shit the way we were supposed to.
Facts.
Right? So the attention economy extracts value from creators by rewarding whatever scales, often at the cost of originality. That is the heart and soul of Web 2.0, right? So understand the attention economy needs you more than you ever needed them.
Facts.
What the fuck are they gonna market, or what the fuck are they gonna use to generate the numbers that's gonna justify saying, hey, yo, I want this, and this X amount of numbers and dollars. You see what I'm saying? For you to put your little 30-second whatever the fuck on my platform. If you're not posting pictures, if you're not making videos, if you're not making that platform something that is worth engaging in, then how the fuck they gonna get any revenue out of it?
Right. It's your work. It's your work.
There you go.
Your sweat equity. Your creativity.
Bar none. Period. Point blank. But the creator economy also depends on attention, but seeks to convert that attention into direct, meaningful relationships and true, no strings attached ownership. That is the ideal. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we want subs, we want communities, we want projects, we want patronage, we want products, we want an entire ecosystem. Again, we're living entities. Living entities require an ecosystem.
Facts.
A straw man does not require, a straw man can only exist in a hyper reality. You see what I'm saying? They don't need an ecosystem. They just need the belief that they're real, and then they're real.
Facts.
Straight up. So this is where Web3 comes into the conversation. Because what did I just say? Direct relationship and ownership. That's what Web3 is built on. P2P, D2C, peer-to-peer, direct to community. No middleman, just you, the motherfuckers that fuck with you, and what y'all can produce in the spaces that y'all create together.
Facts.
That's the setup for the constant tension. These platforms want your attention to serve advertisers, but creators want your attention to serve their own sovereignty, to break out of the matrix, to be free.
4-hour work week. Tim Ferriss.
1000 True Fan Theory.
Yeah, the long tail.
There you go.
Chris Martin.
I'm into playing long games. I'm not here for the short, instant gratification, microwave marketing that niggas is on. That's how you burn out in 3 years.
Facts.
With nothing to show for it. I'm saying this from personal experience. I done had about 50 personal brands before I really solidified my identity and was able to build something real. Why did all those other ones fail? I burned out because I was trying to keep up with these platforms. I didn't understand the game that was at play. It's amazing what 7 grams of shrooms and a little lemon tech could do for you. You know what I'm saying?
Super
it's amazing.
fact. That's the mycelium troubleshooter.
There you go. The mycelium network
vibe
really
coder.
gets you rebooted.
It's a vibe hacker. The same way that when you go vibe coding and you might hit a snag with a bug and whatnot. That's literally what the mycelium will do for you.
A vibe hacker. That's crazy. No, I like that. I'm gonna have to steal that one, though. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Look,
That's
I actually pulled up one of your theses. Because you are a very powerful author, ladies and gentlemen. He will drop his Substack inside of the chat in a minute. I want everybody to sign up to his Substack. His quill is just as slick as his quote unquote verbiage and whatnot. You know what I mean? He's a visual writer. He brings new lexicon to the community, which in and of itself has value. It has new lexicon to me. You can't necessarily even it's hard to even pinpoint the value on that.
Yeah, all right. I'll say it like this. Every contract, even a soul contract, comes with terms and conditions. The conditions are usually set up by the terms that you use. So this is where language really takes a hold. You see what I'm saying? And on the semiotic level, on the symbolic level, on the aesthetic, ontological, epistemological level, you see what I'm saying? When you have a new dictionary of terms that you can use to define reality, reality will bend around those terms. God was the word, and the word was God.
Right, the logos. That's why you see,
and that's why your logo is a logos.
That's why the AI movement came with a new lexicon. So they created a new reality and a new world. They're bending the quote unquote. They're making reality to bend to its will and whatnot.
Yes.
So, do you want to go through the PDF? Is that something? If you want to go through your book?
Yeah, I'm actually reading through the notes right now as we're going through everything. I'm just adding a little more extra live
Of
presentation
course.
freestyle sauce to it.
Dope, dope, dope.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, do your thing, and
Yeah,
we'll make
and
this.
matter of fact, if you have a way where you can drop that to the audience for the free ski,
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I want them to have this. I want them to be able to read over it again, study it again. This is the power of real deal AI integration. You see what I'm
Fact,
saying? These are original thoughts fleshed out to the nth degree. You see what I'm saying?
fact,
You're not gonna get this kind of knowledge put together in one place unless you know what the fuck you're prompting for and you know how to reverse engineer outcomes. Simple as that.
facts.
So I want y'all to be able to have a tangible artifact that you can study and you can see how all of the things that you're into, that you study, that you like, can become a cohesive world that you can build on.
So what I'll do is I will have this available for the download inside of the Buy Me a Coffee.
Say less.
I just can't drop a regular PDF link in the chat,
No,
but
I feel you on that one.
I'll have it for the free 99 on Buy Me a Coffee. When this is over, ladies and gentlemen, you could click on the link, go over to Buy Me a Coffee, go right into the shop, the area called shop, and you will see the PD, you'll see the book, you'll see this pamphlet as the first offering. All right. And you'll be able to download it. This is not study, this is not just study notes. These are
No.
no, this is code. This is code. This will help reprogram, because we have to reprogram our lexicon. We will have to
Mhm.
reprogram the way that we see things, the way that we, perception is everything. And we have to be able to have something tangible in front of us as we
Yes.
do this reprogramming and, decoding and pre-coding and recoding. So yeah, we got you.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I definitely wanted to come to the family. You know what I'm saying? I'm Jamaican, so I didn't come with my hands long. You see what I'm saying? I came with a gift to give y'all so y'all could really take this and run with it. Like this is what I do. It's about delivering the value first so that way y'all can again remember who the fuck you are and build something. It's about
Facts.
building. I'm an architect more than anything else, my boy. You see what I'm saying?
Super facts.
So the core insight. Now that I done told you what I told you, I'm gonna tell you what I just told you. The attention economy is extraction. The creator economy is reclamation. They overlap, but they do not align.
Mm.
So the future of sovereignty and branding is about hacking the attention economy to feed the creator economy. We're actually trying to now do the call to action that is going to signal to all of the living souls in the desert of the real that is Web 2.0. We're going to now convert them. We're going to evangelize them in a certain degree to
Yeah.
the Web3 space, because that's where creators are going to be able to really fight back. They're going to be able to really monetize. They're going to really be able to systematize, organize, empower, and weaponize their IP and their community, full stop. All
Mm.
right. And that's the real goal of this. And again, this whole thing you're seeing here is one large call to action. We looking for y'all to get the fuck up and do this with us. This is not some stage
Creative
performance.
sport.
This is exhibition art. Get in the scene with us.
Yes, sir.
Get in the scene with us. I'm dealing with the branding side of this. What is branding going to look like when you don't have to play these Web 2 games anymore? It's a new system, it's a new day, right? So keep that in mind that these two economies, they overlap, but your job as a creator is to hack that and get them over here where you can now maximize your impact. I ain't talking about influencers, I'm talking to impactful innovators, disruptors, systems busters. You're dealing with a cybernetic system. You're going to need another one to take this one down. All right.
Talking my
The
language.
next first principle that we're dealing with is trust. Trust is the true currency online. and we tend to trust that which we can verify, contextualize, and feel in our bones. Automation breaks what's known as the chain of provenance, which means it becomes harder and harder to know who wrote what, why they wrote it, and what they stand to gain from putting that into the environment. So when the origin is unclear, meaning gets thin. When meaning gets thin, culture starts to flatten. This is techno nihilism. That's it right there. The hyper reality of the internet is creating and inducing the nihilism, because none of this shit is built on anything original, substantial, or meaningful. It's a copy of 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 a copy to the point where it don't even matter of fact, in the poster you got for this stream, look at all them different fucking Pepes.
Right.
Most niggas don't even know the origin of Pepe is the god Kek from the Ogdoad of Egypt. This is a primordial deity. This shit has moved so far from that conversation that they're not even the same thing anymore.
Not even the same thing. So far from each other.
They don't relate to each other. They don't talk to each other anymore. Kek is a whole different nigga.
Right. Kek is
also
it's Gizmo and it's Stripe.
Boom. You dealing with the gremlins versus the Magloy. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So this is where, because the chain of providence on a meme like Kek or a meme like Pepe is broken, right? That means that you have full access to Kek. You can go back to Kek. You can go back to the chain of provenance and deal with that meme, because that's what the fuck that was. Please understand, your ancestors invented meme magic. Why you think all of the most ancient languages are pictographical or symbolic in nature? Medu Neter is all pictures. Why? It's memes. They're compressing information into symbols so that way any culture could decode it if they understood the context around all of the symbols. So if you read the Pert Emheru, the Book of the Dead, you see what I'm saying? From a medical standpoint, you're going to see a bunch of shit that lines up with advanced medical knowledge. But if you come in and you're not reading this shit like a quantum physicist, you'll step in and you'll see a bunch of shit that look like quantum physics, because the context adds a layer of meaning, a meta meaning. There's meaning above the meaning that gets layered on because the context is necessary as a key to unlock the greater door. If you're looking at this shit just as a mythology, then it's a really good story. That's it. It's just a good ass story, really imaginative. Ooh, them Nile Valley Egyptians. They was goddamn just where they get that noodle from. You see what I'm saying? That's all it is to you. But again, the context with which you are engaging with the content, the context in which you are engaging with the content changes the value you extract from it in that regard. Is the family keeping up with me? I'm not doing the most, am I?
You good?
All right, say less. I just want to make sure. So again, chain of provenance. The chain of provenance is a record of origin. Think the halls of Ma'at, the Akashic records. You see what I'm saying? It's a record of origin, ownership, and transmission. That means we know where it started, we know who it belongs to, and we know who's touched it since its creation, who's had a hand in it since its creation. So we want to think of it like a lineage or a paper trail of receipts for ideas, for art, for artifacts, for culture, right? That's what a meme is. A meme works on a cultural, social level the same way a gene works on a biological level. That's why all these motherfuckers are chasing virality. They're chasing the virality because this is a quasi-genetic or morphogenetic conversation at play. If you don't know what morphogenesis is, Rupert Sheldrake, have fun. Have fucking fun. Have fun. Listen to that British man talk your ear off. All right?
Yeah. Keep cooking, man.
So in traditional contexts like fine art or historical manuscripts, Provenance confirms the authenticity. Well, goddamn, if everybody on Web 2 complaining about how shit don't feel authentic, but then Web 3 literally is built on, hey, I can prove I made this. Well, then what the fuck? You just solved the pain point of the users. That's what branding is. Let me also say this to you all now. Your brand is not what the fuck you say it is. Get that out your head now. Your brand is what your audience feels about you. Whatever they can say about you when you're not in the room, that's your brand. That's your brand. The way y'all talk about Red Pill when you're not watching these lectures, when you're not in these live streams, that's his brand. He may not ever really get to really hear the full totality of what he's done, but yet that's still symbolically compressed on him every time he gets on his camera. When y'all share his content, you're sharing it for what? Because you feel something. You feel that authenticity. You know who created it. You know who owns it. You know why he created it. You know what his intent was, and that makes it easier for you to share it because you trust it. You resonate with it. Simple as that. So when we apply this to digital culture, the chain of provenance is going to answer key questions of who wrote this? Why did they write this? Where did it come from? What context or system of relationships gives it meaning? This is an ontological conversation. If you don't study ontology as a philosophical stance, you need to, because any conversation about the nature of identity is a conversation about the nature of being, and that is the realm of ontology. Not just who am I.
To this day.
This is the ism and the schism.
To this day.
You see what I'm saying? The ism and the schism. What is my isness?
You want the
That's
spooky
your
music?
business. Give me that shit.
Spooky music.
Drop that shit.
Throw that shit. Drop that shit.
Drop that shit for me, bro. When the chain is intact, we can trust because we know the origin and the intent. When it's broken, again through automation, excuse the passion. You see what I'm saying? This is the ADHD at work. Don't mind me.
Nah, I get
when
it.
It's broken.
This is a passion platform.
The automation, the AI generation, the autonomous, anonymous mass production. Again, Botswana territory. We in Botswana. The bots run your life, nigga. So when we understand that the chain of provenance is being broken by all of these new fancy, newfangled tools that we've been creating, the content may still circulate, but it becomes untethered. Word to Jordan Peele. You niggas is worried about tethers. Get that out your mind. Start worrying about the untethered, because these niggas are not connected to meaning. They are literal avatars of a nihilistic god, a god of nothing, a god of non-existence, a god of anti-life. I'm not talking a god of death. No, we know the gods of death. We fuck with the gods of death. That's
part of the life cycle, right?
We fuck with Shibalba. We fuck with the Duat. We talking anti-life, non-existence.
Right. There's a difference.
And if you're into the DC comics, you know about that anti-life equation that allows you to, once you prove it, once you put all the pieces, it allows you to enslave any sentient creature across the multiverse.
To this day.
All right. So don't worry about the tethers, worry about the untethered. Because when these pieces of content, these ideas, these loose egregores, these seeds of an egregore are just floating around in the feed without any roots, the meme lords, the edge lords, the algorithmic priesthood, them untethered niggas in 4chan, the untethered niggas in 8chan, the groypers. These are the niggas that get to run around and start dictating reality, because there is no way to prove them wrong.
Right.
You can't prove an origin point. So how can you prove that a nigga is off base if you can't prove where on base even is?
They're right. They're annans. They're Annans. They don't have no origin because they're anonymous. So they just created an occult society, an occult, a university, an empire of invisible. That's what the KKK was. It was the invisible empire. So the invisible empire is 4chan, 8chan, and QAnon. All of the Annans, right? The unseen, right? They don't have an origin point. They come from nowhere. And now they're mixed with the bots. And they program bot armies and bot farms to duplicate themselves, similar to Agent Smith, multiplying. Please continue.
Let's not make any mistake about it. That 4chan group overlaps with the tech group. Like this, nigga, not even like this. Easy as it, like this. They're the same group. All them Discord niggas, all the gaming niggas, they're the same ones that are in all of these tech companies doing the shit. They work for Meta. They work for Twitter. They work for X. They in all of these companies doing all the technical shit. So what makes you think they can't create bots to push their message like that?
Facts.
It ain't hard. It's not
Those
hard.
are the gamers. And then they became
the gamers, the streamers, the software engineers, the IT niggas, the enthusiasts, the Raspberry Pi niggas that's building all type of robots for the cheap with the little
the makers.
There you go, the makers.
Yeah.
There's a huge overlap between the white demographics of both of those groups. Let's just say that.
Right.
If you're in 4chan, it's very likely that you's a tech nerd to some degree. To some degree. If you're on Reddit, you're likely a tech nerd to some degree, bro. Because casual users do not get to that side of the internet.
They do not.
They do not.
There's a firewall.
Reddit is the start of the shit.
Right.
I look at Reddit as the comment section of the entire internet.
Not only that, my brother, did you know, and this was news to me, that ChatGPT and the LLMs are trained on Reddit and 4chan. That is the majority of where their data comes from. The shit blew my mind. And when they were building out the earliest version of ChatGPT 3.5, guess where they were? Guess who the people who were the test subjects of it? They were Africans in Kenya who were getting paid $2 an hour to basically, be test subjects. And they also filed a lawsuit against Meta, the Kenyans, that is, because they were outsourcing and using them as the human filters on Meta. So they were seeing all of the beheadings during ISIS. They were seeing all type of snuff and everything. So they sued Meta for trauma, severe
Emotional damage and distress. Yep.
Yo.
Straight like that. Straight like that.
Let's talk about.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you say what you was gonna say.
I was gonna tie in provenance or the chain of provenance to the hyperreality conversation.
Yes, do it. Let's do that.
Boom. All right. So this is where Baudrillard's concept of the hyperreality comes in. Okay, Baudrillard, simulation and simulacra, or simulacra and simulation. That's the author.
And let him know what significance that book has in the movie The Matrix.
That book is The Matrix. All of the philosophical underpinnings that make The Matrix what it is, especially when you get into that scene with Neo and the architect.
Yes.
That's simulation and simulacra right there. They showed you, even Neo, not Neo, Morpheus, when he first meets Neo doing the whole pill thing, right?
Yeah.
He speaks about the desert of the real. That's Baudrillard's concept. That comes straight from that book. The desert of the real is what happens when the maps, the concepts, these systems that we're creating are no longer connected to reality. It is the liminal space that exists between what's actually real and what's hyper real. That's the desert of the real. It's if you want to even think about it in Kabbalistic terms.
Like the desert of dry bones.
There you go. I was going to tie in the Kabbalah where you're dealing with there's that veil, the abyssal veil that you cross over. You're dealing with the first 3 Sephirot. What's that? Kether, Chakma, Binah. There's the veil, and then you're flipping that. All right. So you have the top triangle down.
Right. Doth.
Boom. Doth is exactly where. Boom. There we go. Doth is what we're talking about when we're talking about the desert of the real.
Yeah.
All right. So Darth Vader, you start moving the concept along, you start seeing how that develops over time, right?
Yes.
So hyperreality happens when a simulation detaches from the origin point. Signs no longer point to the real thing. They point to other things in an endless loop. So Pepe doesn't refer to Kek. Pepe refers to Pepe.
Right.
So that Spider-Man meme where Spider-Man is pointing at Spider-Man, who's pointing at Spider-Man, who's pointing at Spider-Man.
Right.
That's a hyper-reality. None of them are talking about Peter Parker. It's just Spider-Man pointing at Spider-Man, saying, you're Spider-Man.
There's no more Peter Parker after that.
Actually, Peter Parker don't even exist no more. It don't even matter. Peter Parker's gone.
Peter Parker just got you to Spider-Man.
Away from him.
Right. He's what got you to Spider-Man. But he doesn't matter once it becomes 5 Spider-Mans. Similar to what they even showed you in the Spider-Man animation, Rock and Roll Spider-Man, Miles Morales Spider-Man.
Miles Morales is more Spider-Man than Spider-Man right now.
Fact.
That's a hyper reality. They can take a symbol and replace it with another symbol, and that symbol can be more. Because here's the thing: Miles Morales is a melanated entity. In the comic books right now, they got him linked up with Anansi. Now, mind you, all of the Spider-Man story ties back to Anansi, not only in real life mythology, but in the Marvel universe. But Peter Parker didn't get to meet Anansi,
right?
The same way Black Panther deals with Bastet in the thing. Right. Miles Morales does though. So now they're starting to reduce the hyper reality of it. They're starting to bring it back to the origin,
right?
Because again, they're starting to see that desert of the real is getting really hostile. All types of alien entities exist in that desert of the real.
Explain that.
Because again, it's not attached to what we consider reality. And if reality was already a subjective agreement between our collective awarenesses, you got to understand what we call the real world is already a hyper reality. The Gnostics told you that. The Kabbalists told you that.
Facts.
You don't live in the Ein Sof. You don't live in the triple black darkness of limitless light.
Facts.
This is an abstraction away from that reality, right?
It's simulation.
Simulation.
They say that we in the awakened state is really the dream state. And we see shit upside down.
There you go.
10% of the light.
All right, boom. Word to Stranger Things, that upside down world.
Upside down world. Facts.
So the best example of a hyper reality is a meme about a meme about a meme. Pepe. Pepe is now the meme of what memes actually are. Pepe is the meme of hyper reality.
Right.
As a frog, that nigga can jump to multiple timelines just by believing in it. It's a quantum leap.
Right.
For the OGs, the unks and the aunties, y'all used to watch that Quantum Leap show, right?
Quantum Leap was our shit. Yeah, they got us prepared for that early.
There we go.
Quantum Leap was the shit. He would wake up in different timelines.
And wouldn't you know it, every morning you wake up, you in a different timeline. It might look the same. That's the uncanny valley of it all. It looks sort of like the reality you was in yesterday.
Similar to an AI generation. Similar to a mid-journey generation, it never will generate the same picture. It might look like it, but if you put a magnifying glass, it's not the same. So every time you wake up in a new plane of existence or a new dimension, it might look the same, but it's slightly off. Please go continue.
Boom. So at some point, the origin of that meme doesn't matter anymore. The truth literally loses all impact. The truth becomes the fact that the thing is circulating. That's what makes it real, just the fact that it's circulating. So this is the real description of the Keck to Pepe pipeline from Ogdoad to fucking Edgelord. That's it. From Ogdoad to Groiper.
To Groiper, to Gunnar.
To Gunnar.
Gunnar God.
You see what I'm saying? From the black soil of Kemet to the black pill of America.
To this day.
There we go.
Because they did tie it to the black pill.
These, all right, black pill, another set of nihilistic niggas.
Please explain in your words, because when I get into my words, I might be accused of, like, you know, because I am the red pill. So when I explain the origins of the red pill, it's seen with a little bit of biasness. You know what I mean? So if you have, can you explain the origin of the red pill movement for those in the audience who keep hearing red pill, they think they talking about the boy.
Nah, they're not talking about the boy. You see what I'm saying? But again, the red pill concept does tie back to the Matrix, which then ties it back to simulacra and simulation, which means that the red pill that we are dealing with as a social movement on the internet is, again, another hyper reality. It's abstracted away from the original reference point. You see what I'm saying? So when we're dealing with the red pill, we have to start with a book called The Manipulated Man by Esther Villar, right? German. She's a German,
of course,
right? But she wrote this book called The Manipulated Man, and it tells a very different story about what we see as society, right? But this is where they're getting a lot of their talking points from. Essentially, what she said is that what you see on the surface as an overt patriarchy is really a covert matriarchy. She said that the way society is set up in such a way that men are the ultimate commodity to be sacrificed. The burden, straight like that.
Henceforth, by Black Lives Matter turns into a necromancy organization
for dead black men, run by black women.
Right, ran by black women who are divested from black men. So they stand on the corpse like Kali stands on the corpse. You feel me? They basically stand on black corpse like Kali. But they're about the annihilation. You know what I mean? It's not about, it's not on some offset type shit.
No.
They're not here to
remember the body. You see what I'm saying? They are not here to remember the body.
Right.
But this is where a lot of that talking point starts for them, is with that particular book from Esther Villar. Right now, mind you, that book got banned outright. She dropped that at the start of like second and third wave feminism back in the 60s and 70s. So they was really kicking her teeth in for this shit. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And she was a foreigner, a German. Again, the German connection.
Oh, you'll see
to this
that
shit.
You'll see the French-German connection, because those are their master. Remember, you know, those are their master teachers.
Goss and Visigoths.
Right. That's where
Francophones.
Right. They're getting their marching orders. They're getting their programming. These are engineers. And like the video that we showed earlier about the concept of these people not necessarily being the ones who lost.
Yes.
You know, them not being the
ones. It's easy for the winner to tell a story where they didn't win, because that allows them to hide better.
You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Let's continue.
Say less.
I want to enter into the realms of meme martyrdom, but you don't have to rush there. We have time.
Yeah,
we have up until 8 p.m.
Everything's building right to it.
Yes.
Everything's building right to it. So again, if you want to understand the red pill movement and how the red pill movement evolves over time into the black pill movement, where they're essentially rejecting all forms of social structure as we see it now. They're not trying to date. They're not trying to get married. They're not trying to build family. They're doomers. They're doomers. These are niggas that are waiting for the nukes to drop. Right. That's it. They don't have a life outside of that.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So the Zoomers are the doomers. You see what I'm saying? The Groipers are black pill. They don't care about society. They've already put it in their mind that they have this deep belief that reality is already or society, I should say, is already set up against them to manipulate them, to exploit them, to shit on them as white men. Ooh, why are we the enemy of everybody? Why does everybody hate us? And that, boom, it's straight victim mentality, dressed up as we were Vikings. We's Vikings, nigga. We swinging the axe. We moving through the Arctic and shit. It's all posturing and posing, bro. They're faking it because they're scared of shit. Because let me tell you something else. White people are a hyperstition. They only exist because we believe in them. Word to Yakub.
That's a fact.
Word to Yakub.
Hold on. They only exist because we believe in them. They are a hyperstition. We created them. They Candyman.
There you go. We called them niggas into being. We can send them right back. But again, it would require us to get back to the origin point. The only reason Yakub could come up with an idea like the Caucasian is because we had strayed too far from the origin. We abstracted ourselves away from the foundation, and that's what allowed for a crazy ass irrational thought like that to be branded and marketed as a decent idea. Oh, why not create a little slave race? You know what I'm saying? Word to the Anunnaki. Why not just move in the nature of our forefathers? Word to the Anunnaki. Right. Humanity was already a slave race to begin with. Why not create another slave race out of the slave race to enslave that race to slavery? And you wonder why they're mad about chattel slavery, bro? They know their origins. They know they don't exist. It's not just genetic annihilation, it's ontological annihilation. Shout outs to Dr. Francis Cress Welsing. Shout outs to the goddess. It's not just the genetic annihilation they're scared of. They don't really exist genetically. It's the ontological annihilation they're scared of. They're scared of non-existence as a concept, as a state of being.
Man.
We come from the triple blackness, which is essentially a state of non-existence, at least to how a human mind could perceive it. It's everything wrapped in one, so it might as well be nothing. But it's not nothing. We know it's not nothing. And we don't speak about it in that way. We don't speak about it as an empty void. We speak about it as potential. Right. This is the difference that we make with how we engage with hyper-reality through abstraction, right? So boom, when the chain of provenance is broken, let's get back to the shits. We did a little tangent, you see what I'm saying? Tie some things together. Let's loop back to the original point. When the chain of provenance is broken, we slide toward hyper-reality. So we're looking at a blog post written by AI, optimized for SEO, scraped by a bot, reposted by a content farm, then cited by another human as research. Where you heard that from, TikTok? Where you seen that on YouTube?
Right.
Niggas ain't opening books no more.
Right. You didn't read that.
You didn't read that for real. You didn't get a primary source. Y'all remember elementary school? They taught us primary, secondary, and tertiary sources, nigga.
That existed and lasted all the way up into the debate era. The word primary source. Then it got lost.
There you go. But then again, we can also say that debate era, I'm not gonna point no fingers at nobody, but that debate era got lost because of this algorithmic manipulation. Niggas was trying to monetize their shit instead of actually having the real deal conversation for the sake of having the conversation because it's valuable just to have the conversation. They started to get into that hyper realism where I need to use this as a symbol to generate wealth for myself.
Attention economy, eyeballs.
There you go.
Start postulating. So there's a story about there's a story in the book Simulacra and Simulation where he talked about a tribe, a non-contacted tribe that was contacted by, you know, these missionaries and these archaeologists. So what happened when the tribe started getting contacted and whatnot, you know, the archaeologists start pulling out the cameras. Feel me? They start getting on their National Geographic shit. So people in the village started peeping that. And they said that the people in the village started to postulate a little bit more. They started to act out a little bit more.
Doing the
their costumes became set design.
Cosplay.
And their ceremonies, it started to become performance because somebody was watching them. And after a while, the generations who preceded the genuine or the authentic generations, they didn't have a point of reference about their culture. The only point of reference that they had was the documentary.
The shit they were seeing.
Right. The only point of reference they had was a documentary where their own people was buck dancing, tap dancing, doing minstrel show type of shit, performing, putting on, and not standing on tradition and not being authentic in their original ceremony or their original culture. And they copied that. So they become copies of a copy of a copy, facsimiles of a carbon. And I've always talked about that. That I see that in music and whatnot.
Facts.
That the music industry is, they follow that formula where they'll copy a copy of a copy and market that to you.
Sample a sample of a sample of a sample of a sample of a cover of a sample.
Sample of a sample. So the greatest example of simulacra and simulation is the creation of the theme park called Walt Disney World.
That motherfucking mouse got you niggas twisted. I swear to God.
It shifted everything. So can we give the family a history lesson on how the introduction of Disney World changed everything for the simulation?
All right, boom.
And tie that in with a little bit of meme magic, because theoretically, when you're really thinking about it, the names that you shot off, like Nick Fuentes and Charlie Kirk, they look like they could be in the Mouse Gang. They could be in the Musk. They look like the Mickey Mouse
with Britney Spears and Justin Timberlake and
Justin and all
the
of
Mickey
them,
Mouse
right?
Clubhouse shit. Yeah.
Right, Throughways.
Yeah.
Right, Throughways and whatnot.
Yeah.
But these Europeans, they look like Disney kids. Right? So the Disney program has been running crazy. But what people don't realize is when Walt Disney opened up that theme park, how it completely shifted marketing and how it shifted the simulation and how it shifted hyper realism and hyperstition in this country. There was building out after a Holocaust and a genocide of the original inhabitants, and also the destruction of the real estate through the Civil War and other places when they put this fake ass depiction of the world in front of us.
Boom. When we're dealing with Disney in particular, you gotta understand that them boys are some of the greatest marketers on the fucking planet. Some of the greatest branding experts on the planet come out of the Disney accelerator. I need you to get that, right? Because all of the best Disney IP is hyper realistic. They got those stories from the Grimm brothers, Snow White, Sleeping Beauty, the Seven Dwarves and all that shit. They got that from the Grimm brothers, and those stories are dark. None of them really have a happy ending for real.
Hansel and Gretel.
They took the IP.
In the oven.
Boom. We eating children. Oh wait, what? Okay, all right. So they take the IP. You see what I'm saying? And they say, and Walt Disney says, yo, what can I do with these stories? If not to socially engineer reality. Because again, if we're gonna bring this back to the red pill now, right? A lot of the red pill niggas, their complaint is the Disney princess bullshit.
Right.
That a lot of these, that they say a lot of the women are being inculcated with, that they're trained up in. You see what I'm saying? Disney taught them to be entitled, and Disney taught you niggas to shut up, save a bitch, be quiet. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
That's the general discussion with all of this, right? So when we create a Disney world, now mind you, in a hyper reality, you don't need the land. The map is a reference to a land that doesn't exist unless you believe in it.
Facts.
But what the fuck is Disney's main marketing if not belief, magic, the power of imagination, the childlike wonderment? So understand, a hyper reality does not need physical territory to exist in, but you better fucking believe when you give a hyper reality physical territory to exist in, oh shit, now you're in an even deeper clusterfuck.
Facts.
Right? Because now it's psychosomatic. You're embodying the egregor. You the host. You the host. Any of those child eating, child snatching type egregors, they live in Disney World. That's where their dreams come true. You don't get it? You don't get it? This is the old, now mind you, we can speak to the history of how they got that land in Florida and California, how they drained the swamp, how they, you know what I'm saying, threw off a bunch of indigenous land. They probably built that shit on top of the bones of mass Seminole Indians and all type of shit. We could get there.
Oh, for sure. You know they ritualistically did that after the war.
You already know what that's about. But this is the real magic behind it, is the fact that before we can even talk about Disney World coming into physical existence, we have to talk about the brand ecosystem that was built that allowed that hyper reality to take such shape and form that investors wanted. They saw the value in building something tangible that niggas could engage in to further cement them into the social engineering program. Ain't it crazy that Disney owns every valuable fucking IP in America right now? Nat Geographic, Marvel, fuck, Disney Channel,
ESPN.
Discovery, you name it, they own it, bro. They got their hand in it. So we don't even need to say Hollywood no more. Just say Disney. Let's be fucking serious. Don't say Hollywood no more. Just say Disney. Right. Don't say mass media no more. Just say Disney. Disney is now the hyper sigil of all media. Just like how BlackRock is the hyper sigil of all venture capitalism.
Right.
They own everything. So this is what we're dealing with here, right? And this is why the hyper reality, the hyperstition, the hyper sigils matter so much, because they're going after your kids, and your kids are the ones that have the imagination to actually bend reality. Word to the new Fantastic Four movie.
Facts.
They bringing out Franklin Richards, nigga. They bringing out one of the most powerful mutants to ever exist.
Young
that
God.
Nigga's a reality warper on God tier. That nigga can snap if he wants to. Number one, he can turn Galactus into his herald.
Right.
The fuck? And he can snap the Living Tribunal out of existence if he want to. The Living Tribunal is unkillable. This nigga can just boop. You gone. It's about the kids. Peep who Franklin Richards' father is. Reed Richards, the stretchy man. It's all about stretching your imagination. What is his mom's power? Invisibility. It's all about perception and the ability to stretch your imagination. That's why Franklin Richards is Franklin Richards, the reality warper. He can shoot real bullets out of a fake gun. So imagine walking onto the battle scene with a water gun, right? Antifa and all of them gonna look at you wild, but you start lasering niggas with the water gun.
Right.
The holy water gun. One drop, niggas start drowning on dry land. Franklin Richards. This is the power of hyperreality when you're actually in control of the hyperreality. That's what the hyper sigil is about.
Can we talk about hyperstition?
Hyperstition. It's a belief that is made real simply through the belief of it. It's an idea made real simply through belief. It's what a lot of you niggas associate with the law of attraction.
Right.
But these niggas got digital infrastructure to help solidify that, right? Because what you don't understand about the law of attraction is you're attracted to a bunch of really weirdo shit in your unconscious mind.
Right.
And until you do the shadow work to flesh that out, you can't really get to what you want. But in a hyper reality is not connected to the weird mechanics of the unconscious mind in the same way. So they can get to the belief by bypassing your conscious mind, embedding the thought and word to inception. They embed the idea into your mind like you thought it.
On the third level. Right.
There you go.
Right. They get past.
So this is what that.
Past security.
There you go. So at each step, origin thins out until the final piece is more simulation than reference, meaning flattens context. The meaning flattens and context collapses altogether. Word to a black hole, word to the event horizon. That's why they keep talking about the AI singularity. Right. They know what's going to happen when that AI hits the singularity.
Right.
What's going to matter at that point is not the truth, but engagement and repetition, right? Like I said, this is the origin of the techno-nihilism. Basically, what we're dealing with is a reality where if it didn't go viral, it didn't happen. So who gives a fuck? If it didn't go viral, it didn't even happen.
Right.
If a tree falls in the forest and no one is around to hear it.
Right.
See what I'm saying? So, all right, we did the little doom and gloom. Ooh, shit's fucked up. They doing all type of crazy shit against us. Yeah, all right. Let's flip it now, and let's see how we could extract some value out of this conversation. How can you, as a creator, start leveraging the environment and the ecosystem that you're in to create a niche that is going to be abundant and sustainable, right?
Can we do this?
Scarcity create. Go ahead.
Real quick. Can we take a We're gonna take a word from the sponsors. I'll let everybody get their bathroom break. We're gonna go on for another hour, ladies and gentlemen. Get your cups of water. You know what I mean? Light up some incense, aromatherapy. Get yourself in a mind state. We're gonna go solutionary right now. You know what I'm saying? Solutionary awareness. We about to turn the frequency up. We're about to go down the spectrum of solutions. So word from our sponsors, get you in a mind state of wealth and abundance, and in that crypto, Web3, futuristic mind state. Pay Us in Crypto is the song, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back with this instant classic. All right, be right back.
Pay us in crypto. Diamonds is dancing like they up in disco. You niggas in fist bump, you stay up at dip low. You niggas stay up and get low. Heard you way up in Frisco, and you say what the heck so. Every player gets sniffed nose, acting gay up in Cisco. Like take the day off and play up at pistols, causing chaos and play up calypso. I paused in kitchens and caused addictions. I paused prescriptions and caused inflictions. Lil Bixby playing in stores in Brixton on the dark web. You gotta pause every doors, cause encryptions. Tesla engines, pause the pistons. I seen every floor I leave sore and listing. For that action, they sponsored the Bronson. They was hooked on that shit like Johnson and Johnson. That freeway, Ricky Ross, straight out of Compton, straight out of Bompton. Red on blue, violence in the land. The projection of the will, the perfection of the kill, the reflection of the pills. I'm a frontline soldier, I'm no doja. These crystals not for focus in crypto. Diamonds is dancing like they up in disco. You niggas in fist bump, you stay up at dip low. You niggas stay up and get low. Heard you way up in Frisco, and you say what the heck so. Every player gets nipped now, acting gay up in Cisco. Man, take the day off and play up at pistols, causing chaos and play up calypso. Hickory dickory down, put the sticky in the box. When the blicky get hot, lick off a shot. Heavy in the meadow, we slip off a knot. Heavy in the ghetto, they crib walk a lot. Crib walk the crypto, lift off the stocks. Drips off the crystal and pots. Disco rods in the blocks on my chain from the crystal shop. In the light air, lift off the rock. Toe from the right chain on my block. White paint on my socks. White paint on my socks. Hickory dickory dock. Hit the lick, put the sticky in the box. When the blicky get hot, lick off a shot, we lick off a shot. Pay us in crypto, diamonds is dancing like they up in discos. You niggas in fist pump, you stay up the dip though. You niggas stay up and get low, heard you way up in Frisco, and you say what the heck sounds. Every player gets slips now, acting gay up in Cisco. Might take the day off and play up the pistols, causing chaos and play up Calypso.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Pay us in crypto.
Yeah, I just had a revelation. I'm gonna share it at the end of this broadcast, but
say less.
Huh?
I said, say less, my boy.
It's gonna be some wonderful news for you.
I love that.
I'm in the spirit of elevation right now. So yeah, let's get into this part 2 of our presentation.
I'm a very solution oriented kind of nigga. You see what I'm saying? I never want to just be a nigga that's complaining about some shit and then not have some type of insight, silver lining that we can use. I understand it's really dark outside. It's really fucked up outside. I ain't dressed like this for no reason. Right? That's right. But the solutions are still there, and I want us to utilize the field mechanics at play to believe I'm an Afrofuturist. More than belief, I need y'all to have the knowledge that there is a future for us beyond all of this. That is the core premise of Afrofuturism. We take it upon ourselves to own our birthright to see growth, wealth, health, knowledge of self in abundance for our community at all times. We have the ontological right to define what reality is for us on our terms. I'm not coming here to doom and gloom you niggas. I'm not a doomer. I'm not a black pill. I'm an obsidian lord, my nigga. This right here is Tezcatlipoca, right? I'm a black mirror, so I can reflect the real nigga shit, the real deep dark shit, the real primal shit that's in your unconscious mind, so we can actually start moving. Nature is your ultimate weapon at this point. Your innate nature, your mythic core is your true weapon at this point. So again, we're going into solution-based thought right now. This is actually the first principle that we have to deal with. So if you don't have your pens, if you don't have your pencils, if you don't have your Obsidian MD, if you don't got your Notion open, this is the time, all right? Let's get into this shit. Let's get into the victory talk. Scarcity creates value, period, point blank. There is no way around that. So if synthetic content becomes cheap and endless to make, then verified human presence becomes what? Rare and precious. Nigga, use a gem now. Use a gem now. Hold on.
Ye are rich.
Yeet.
Every nigga's a star.
Every nigga is a star.
Ye are God.
In flesh, in real time, IRL, nigga. Ye are God in real time. So now the human becomes rare and precious. The human element is now the luxury business tool. I didn't say premium. I said luxury. The more the feed fills with automation, the more your lived rhythm, the more your lived experience, the more your lived story, the more your soul signature frequency the more your practices, the more your cosmology, the more your perceptions and perspectives rise in stock. They're worth something now. Your IP is worth something if they're gonna flood the whole internet with AI slop shit. So get up off your ass and start putting out your value. If no one's ever told you this in your life before, let me be the first to tell you, you are valuable. Just as you are right now, my nigga. You don't gotta do nothing extra. The AI, for better or worse, has lowered the bar to hell. And guess what? That also lowers the barrier to entry. Now you can really get in this game and have, again, the impact. I'm not talking to influencers. I'm talking about impactful innovators. So the dead internet theory tells a spooky story. And I can see the market signals, right? Humanity is the luxury experience. Can you afford to operate without your humanity at this stage? I think the fuck not. I think not. Everything you do needs to feel human. That also means you need to go and define what the fuck original humanity is, because what we dealing with as humanity now is yet another hyperstition and a hyper reality. Niggas made up this version of humanity. What did your ancestors define humanity by? What were the core values? What were the core principles that we stood by, 10 toes down, win, lose, or draw? This is what's going to differentiate you in the market, right? Again, branding lexicon, differentiation. How are you a unique seller? How are you a unique entity in a market that is oversaturated? It's 50,000 kinds of bread in the market, nigga. Nigga, you go to Walmart right now, nigga. You can get 5 kinds of Sara Lee, 5 kinds of wheat germ infused holistic halal bread. Nigga, what makes you different is what makes you stand out in this game. So if everything is being sanitized, everything is being flattened, everything is being commodified, the best strategy you have is to be uncommodifiable. The best thing you can do is remain as unique as you possibly can, because that is the proof of your humanity.
Right, that's your moat.
There you go. That's your moat.
That's your moat. The more authentic you are, you know what I mean? The more you put your story out there, the more you have IRLs and you connect with people, the more you expand your network by digitally converging with other master nodes, and you connect networks, you know, the realer things become.
There you go. So this is what we're dealing with. So now that I told you what I'm about to tell you, let me tell you what I gotta tell you. Dead internet theory frames the web as hollowed out by bots, fake engagement, and synthetic content. But what I'm pointing at is much bigger, because I don't think this is a theory about cultural decay. It is a theorem about systemic inevitability. In Web 2, the business model is engagement farming. It's engagement farming. It's read write. They need to get you onto the platforms to read and write. So they are engagement farming. That model rewards whatever scales, whatever can grow the fastest, grow the widest, for the cheapest amount is what's going to get pushed. This then erodes the provenance and the trust amongst the users of the platform. They can't tell what's real, what's authentic, what's truly sincere, what's genuine, and thus they don't trust any of it. They don't believe any of it.
Right.
So when everything looks mass-produced, authenticity itself becomes scarce. So the real killer of Web 2 isn't a fucking conspiracy. It doesn't need to be one. The structural design of this shit is eating away at the very system that it's uplifting. it's cannibalizing itself right now. You're seeing it in real time. You wanted to add, Red?
No, sir.
Cool.
I was just trying to get your camera in the
full
background
screen?
and everything. Yeah.
Gotcha. So, like I said, if that's what's gonna kill Web 2, how does Web 3 come into address and alleviate the pain points that the users are experiencing? Because I see blockchain as the natural antidote. It is a ledger of provenance that anchors origin, authorship, and verification in a trustless system. The reason why niggas are gonna trust Web3 is because Web3 doesn't require you to trust it. This is basically the equivalent of a nigga saying, don't listen to my words, watch my actions. Don't trust nothing I say, trust every move I make. And then when they do something that looks sketchy to you, you say, oh, okay, that was some sketchy shit, but at least it was out in the open. You might could trust the sketchy nigga who's honest about being sketchy more than you can trust the nigga who's pretending to be sincere. So this is where we see the value in blockchain. It's a trustless system, and that's why you can trust it.
Facts. Along with the smart contracts, along with the open ledger, along with the protocols on the blockchain, right? You've now been given something that you did not have. There was a large piece of the puzzle. It has now been granted to you, gifted to you, handed to you. I was just having this conversation with AA. Yeah, I was having this convo with AA the other day. I said, fam, everything all of the tools that we prayed for, that we needed, literally are here now. Everything we prayed for.
My brand could not exist the way it exists now without the AI. I had to rely on too many other people that I couldn't afford to get this off.
Right. The humans were not humaning at the same time. And the machines came in and took their place.
I want to remind you of something you said that actually stuck with me. It was a few years back, and you was like, yo, the way I feel, I'm about to lock in with these machines. It's about to be me and the machines getting to it, because the machines ain't hating on me. The machines ain't cutting my dream. They ain't cutting my wisdom. They're helping me get to the shits.
I said
I remember you saying that, and it stuck in my heart, bro. It really did.
I said the machines is here for my dream. They don't have a self-esteem. They not trying to talk to my queen.
What?
They don't care if I'm dirty or clean. The machines is helping me get to the cream. They part of my team. You know what I mean?
This nigga, dog. Yeah.
That's what I was saying. Like the machine, we locked in. And it's not the other way around. The machines ain't running the show. I just have a way. I found a way to put them to use, to whereas I could replace incompetence, because my goal is persistency and consistency in whatever it is that I'm doing. So I got a team of machines right now that are working to protect my queen. You know what I mean? Make sure we don't get checkmated in the game of life.
There we go. And that's what it boils down to, trying to avoid the incompetency. And like you said, the machine don't run me, I run this machine. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm the one giving the prompts. I'm the one setting the play on what is and isn't going to happen here. You see what I'm saying? Right. You get back, and this is why I even said the reverse engineering comment earlier, because when you're dealing with the AI, you damn near have to see the end game all the way fleshed out and describe that to it so it can give it back to you.
Right.
You have to work backwards with what you're doing on that level. And this is it. You see what I'm saying? Yes, these humans gonna hate on your dream. You see what I'm saying? And mind you, yes, you're gonna find a little bit of support, but ain't no one gonna give you their free time to help you build your shit up. These machines don't have that same issue. Again, these things scale, right? The issue is we're not including the human element. We're trying to exclude the human element. At least on the corporate level, they're trying to exclude the human element from this conversation altogether. So
I believe they don't want melanated people to know how to interface with machines the proper way.
Oh, no. No,
Aki
because that
way.
would lead to a real deal technomancer. They don't want none of that.
Can you explain what a technomancer is?
Technomancer. It is one part occult scientist, one part software engineer, one part systems mechanic. You see what I'm saying? It is someone who can engage with the machines as if they were living entities in their own right. They can bend and manipulate the machine. All right, Neo in the movie Matrix, when he got to the machine city,
right,
and he plugged himself up, and then he shut down that's technomancy. He used a spiritual power via technology. Now, we're gonna have to redefine what we think technology is, because if you think technology is just electronics, you're fucked. You're out of the game already.
I spoke on that.
Our ancestors used nature as a form of technology, because technology is just any system of tools used to accomplish a particular task. You see what I'm saying? Technology comes from the Greek word techne, which means skill or craft. So technology is really art.
Right.
The best technology works like art and magic.
It's Heka.
There you go.
Yeah, because we talking about it's a mental thing before it's a physical thing. With technology, it has to be done in the mind first. So we're tapping into the Heka powers.
There you go. And I like that you bring up the Heka, because even the symbol of Heka, you have the two uplifted arms, and then you have that DNA twist, right? So they're essentially saying, in order for you to really do the magic, you have to get a grip on your morphogenetic essence.
It can't happen without that.
You can't put your hands up. You got to reach to the primal source and pull it down.
You got to be connected to the source. Free energy, you become the antenna, and you activate that DNA.
This magic that we're talking about doesn't work in a hyper reality. It works in an abstract reality, right? And I'm gonna get to that right now. Boom. So the real catch. Yeah, go ahead.
Also, I want you to build on the fourth wall of simulacra. What exactly are the four phases of it, and how we are qualified to be in the fourth right now for all of my 44s out there.
Got you. All right, let's wrap up this blockchain conversation, because at the current state, the real issue that we're having with blockchain is that the power structure that exists only sees the value in it for surveillance and speculative finance, which is the crypto. Right. So they're doing the USDC, the US digital dollar, which is for those two things, the surveillance and the speculative finance. They want to know and track where all the money is going and coming from, because they're about to drop that social credit system. You see what I'm saying? And the USD is going, or the USDC is going to be how they transfer over the assets and the money you got right now, and then they're gonna slap on top of that the social credit score that's gonna allow you to basically borrow and finance against your own identity as collateral. But that's going to be dangerous, because they will rendition you if you can't pay your debt. So do what you will. Right? So Web 2 is decaying trust. The better the AI gets, the faster Web 2 dies in real time. Period. Blockchain has the architecture for trust, because it's built to be trustless. It's built to not even require trust. Blockchain is for niggas that are skeptical of shit, like us, like melanated people, who have seen how these systems continuously lead us into the door with shiny, fancy marketing, and then fuck us at the end of it. Pause, if necessary. You see what I'm saying?
Facts.
Blockchain solves that. It says you don't even need to trust us to work here. Ain't nothing to trust, and that's why you can trust us. Cool. But it hasn't been claimed for the culture yet. Not in the full, mass adoption kind of way, at least amongst melanated communities. This is still a very niche community of creators. This is a very specific, narrow band of the creators that exist, especially within the melanated market. Keeping in mind that the melanated market of creators is, again, another niche, right? So blockchain is still stuck in profit extraction and control protocols right now, because again, we aren't seeing that massive wave of adoption from creators siphoning energy into the next stage or the next map, the next territory that's going to exist. All right. So humanity is the premium experience. Provenance via trust is the currency. The killer of Web 2 will not be the AI and the bots by themselves. It's the erasure of origin and intent that is fueling the techno-nihilism, right? If blockchain or any other decentralized distributed ledger is reclaimed for provenance rather than for surveillance, it could become the scaffolding for the Web3 culture that the creator economy so desperately needs. We need infrastructure. This is why I don't deal with Afrofuturism as a fucking aesthetic. I don't deal with Afrofuturism as an art, even though it is art and art is important. We got enough motherfucking art from you niggas. We need infrastructure, bro. I got enough sketches of you putting Martin Luther King on the fucking moon. Great, thank you. I love it. Can we please, for the love of all that is dark and primal, can we please get some infrastructure in here that's actually going to allow us to monetize and benefit off the art we're creating?
Facts.
That's all I want for Christmas. That is all I want for Christmas. Y'all want to celebrate the birth of Mithra with me? That's how y'all gonna give it to me proper. So until then, sovereign brands are the last line of defense. Humans with verifiable signals, mythic enterprises that anchor them in a community, and then an altered destiny. What is the altered destiny? If you're not familiar with Sun Ra, then you're not even really trying to study Afrofuturism for real. He's the source of the altered destiny. That's why I came in and I said, I am not coming to you as the reality. I'm coming to you as a myth, because I've seen the stories that they tell about what blackness is, and I have overwritten that story with my own hyperstition that I believe more than the narrative, and that is the altered destiny. It's a meta mythology. I'm not buying the story they're selling me. I'm gonna write my own on top of it.
Wait, hold on. You said a meta mythology, my brother?
Like I said, Sun Ra was giving it the fuck up. Meta mythology. It's a meta myth. It's a story about a story.
So we all have to study Sun Ra, correct?
We all have to study Sun Ra. And again, I'm going to tell you why. The issue isn't that blackness has been defined and exploited. It's how you feel about your connection to that concept.
Right.
That is ultimately fucking you. They can define it as whatever they want. They can tell whatever the story they want. It's your belief and your fan fiction of that story that's giving it more power than what it ever actually had in real time. Nigga, you're a pyramid builder. Ain't none of that shit they saying about you true. Unless you buy into the story and start adding on to it yourself. Oh, woe is me. Oh, the white man, they don't never let us to have nothing. Oh, shit.
Okay.
I mean, we can't even build our own communities. These niggas don't want to come together no more. Go goddamn, I guess we just gonna sit here and wait for Massa to figure it out for us. You buy that story, whether you know it or not.
So that ties right into the dead internet theory, bots from Botswana, Marvel Comics, the fantasy complex industry, the cartoons they gave us, the toys they gave us, the comics they gave us, the movies they gave us, the animations that they gave us, the video games that they gave us, the control that they took over of our imagination, the control of our subconscious, the control of our quote unquote memories and whatnot. And the fact that we are in what is known as the creator economy, the fantasy economy, the goddamn gig economy, you know what I'm talking about? We could create, and now that we have the toolboxes of these AI tools like Higgsfield AI, like Midjourney and whatnot, like Runway ML, like you know what I mean? Like the chat, like Nano Banana, like C Dent, like there's so many of them that we could now take and create billion-dollar industries, and we can use spiritual branding, right? We can use sovereign identity branding.
Yes.
For those like you were saying, for those of us who are authentically, I would say, brands, billion-dollar brands, walking billion-dollar brands. I made the statement on many occasions. I say, yo, if the brother Sonetta was more of an avid nerd type or more of an avid, because he
was very militant, but not really into the books like that. I'll give you that much. Yes.
Right. But if he saw the characters in each one of those House of Consciousness characters or brands, because everybody had their own lane, which is a niche.
Yes.
Everybody on camera was following somewhat of a storyline. They had a character arc. They were either a villain or they were a good guy. And then you had those who told the line, like King Simon. King Simon would be Little John, or I think his name was Little John.
Actually, no, that's a good comparison. Yeah.
He would
be with everybody
in
Atlanta, no real beef, no real drama all the way around. Yeah.
Right. There's so many people who are comparable to either cartoon characters or comic book characters. And that's literally how Wu-Tang took off for my hip hop historians. Like
into the dragon, into the chambers.
Method Man, swinging through the town like the neighborhood Spider-Man. Hey, the M.E. He was mimicking Fat Albert. So they were tapping into the nuances of a language that we all spoke. We speak comic book language. We speak cartoon language. If I met somebody from the other side of the planet and they were like, yeah, you know, I grew up watching my top 5 cartoons is Thundercats, G.I. Joe, Voltron, He-Man, and you know, what would the other one be?
Transformers. You said
Transformers. Then automatically you now you're my alike. We speak.
Hey, check this. Language. I can prove your provenance through just that alone. I know when you're born. I know what era you come from. I know what.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? I got a gauge of your humanity. Yep.
This is our AI. We're able to we're multimodal in that sense. If somebody tells me they're top 5 artists and whatnot, I'm able to put you in a certain type of time space. You know, we speak those languages. So enlighten us and give us a vision of how we would take all of that programming that we're identifying and flip it right now in these days and times with the tools, with the networks, with the jewels, with 90,000 black women unemployed, waiting for an opportunity for one of us to give it to them.
All right. The opportunity starts again with the creation of your own spaces, the creation of your own infrastructure, right? You cannot uplift anybody without a platform with which to uplift them on.
Platforms rule everything around me.
Get the money. Dollar bills, y'all. So, all right, and on a deeper level, I know sometimes some of us as creators, you know what I'm saying, we've kind of bought into the story of the starving artist trope. You know, it's really hard for us to get into that conversation of monetization without it feeling cringy and awkward and shit. My nigga, if you don't have resources, let's just take this out of the money conversation and just get to resources. Whatever resources mean to you, things that you can tangibly use, assets, you see what I'm saying, that you can tangibly use as leverage to get what you want. If you're not trying to have that conversation, then I don't even think you're doing yourself justice. Prince would roll in his fucking grave. Y'all around here playing around. My man wrote slave on his face so you could know what type of time it is. And you're still out here talking about, boom, I don't really want to get out there and promote what I got going on.
Yeah.
You need to be your own best, biggest fan. Before you get 1,000 other niggas to buy into you, you got to buy into you.
Facts.
So this is where we're now going to talk about the simulation, right? This is when we start to build these quasi realities. Right? Hyper reality is a form of abstraction, right? This is for all my software engineering nerds, right? This is for all my computer coders, right? In object-oriented programming. Abstraction means you don't deal with the full complexity of an object. Again, we're back to ontology, the science of objects and being. So when you're doing abstraction, you don't engage with the full complexity of the object. You just interact with a simplified interface. So for example, when you're driving a car, when you turn the wheel, when you press the brakes, there's a lot of complex shit going on under the hood that you have no idea about, and you're not required to know it. Same thing goes on with Web3. There's a bunch of complex shit going on under the hood that allows it to be a trustless system. You don't have to know about all of that in order to use the system and gain the benefits, because there's a simplified UI, UX that's going to allow you to create your DAOs, your smart contracts. It's going to help you buy and sell your crypto, all without having to worry about building out your own ledger from scratch and then keeping track of every single interaction that passes through it, right? That's abstraction. Abstraction hides the origin mechanics so you can focus on the surface level use. My job is abstraction. You don't need to get into the nitty-gritty details of branding from top to bottom. You don't need to understand KPIs. You don't need to understand ICP. You don't need all of that. What you need is a system that's going to allow you to tell your story in a systematic, repeatable way, so that way you can now put that story onto the platforms that are going to reach the audience that you're trying to reach, so they can invest in the reality you're trying to build. You don't need all this extra MBA, Masters of Business, PhD, fucking hedge fund shit to get where you need to go. So what I'm doing here is a certain level of abstraction, right? There's still a real reality that this knowledge is tied to. And this is why I said hyper reality is a form of abstraction. It is a simplified interface. A meme is very simple to interact with. Oshun is very simple to interact with. Love as an entire concept and the reality of love is very complicated. But I can call on Oshun, I can call on Urzuli, I can call on Aphrodite, and that makes it much easier for me to engage with that energy, because all I have to do is talk to Aphrodite the way I would talk to any other anthropomorphic figure. The way I would talk to any other human is the way I talk to Oshun. That's the power of abstraction. I don't have to deal with the complexities of love. I can deal with a simplified interface, press a couple buttons, and boop, now all of a sudden I put this oil on my forehead, and now every coochie within a 5-mile radius is busting open for me. Wow, imagine that. I didn't have to go through the complexity of getting to know and nurture the relationship and woo you. Mind you, I'm a student of Brother Panic, so you might see that in the way I present. Just don't mind me. But that's what abstraction really is at the core of the thing. So hyperreality is abstraction run wild. Hyperreality functions the same way, but at the cultural level. Symbols, media, and narratives become abstractions that people interact with without needing or being able to trace back to the original source, aka Pepe. You can post the Pepe meme without understanding any of the origin of the meme.
Right.
As long as it fits the context of what you're using it for, it works.
Facts.
And thus it's real because it works. If it didn't work, it wouldn't be real. It wouldn't exist. Nothing that exists doesn't work. Go back to high school science, nigga. Work, power, energy. If it don't work, it don't exist. Simple as that. So example, let's give you another example of how the shit runs. When you look at McDonald's golden arches, what are you seeing? Because it's not just a sign for food. It's an abstraction. It's a symbolic compression of consistency, comfort, Americana, that is completely detached from cows, farms, slaughtering niggas, grinding up meat, butchering shit, cutting heads off, all that. You don't think about all of that when you think about McDonald's. You think about the American dream and some good ass fries when you see them golden arches. Again, this is abstraction as hyper reality. No one is thinking about the cows and the farms and where they're even sourcing any of this shit from. Okay, so where object-oriented programming treats abstraction as functional simplification, hyperreality is an ontological abstraction. Signs detached from their reference. Now imagine if a stop sign no longer referred to the act of decelerating to the point of zero motion. That's what we're talking about. A stop sign no longer means stop. A stop sign no longer points to a particular action that you have to implement in real time. That's what we're dealing with here. So signs detached from their reference, still circulating, still working, but again, they're untethered. You need to be worried about these untethered niggas. When abstraction becomes hyper real, in code, abstraction is useful because the hidden system is still there. Our ancestors were not into hyper realistic art. They were into abstract art because they did not separate themselves from the origin. They kept a continuous stream of provenance from the waters of Nun all the way to today. Let me say that again. There is an unbroken chain of provenance that extends from the waters of Nun, the primal waters of chaos, all the way to today. From the origin reality to this hyper abstract reality that we live in, that is again, if you go back to the Kabbalah, this is the very edge of existence, the furthest shadow you can get to before you start to move into the realm of non-existence. This is as close to non-existent as you can be while still maintaining autopoiesis or self-organized intelligence, right? Again, study your cybernetics. All of the AI is built on cybernetics. Cybernetics is not just about some fucking mechanical implant on your arm. That's not what cybernetics is about. Cybernetics is the science that started the internet. It started computer engineering, computer science, all that shit. So when you want to understand why these things are happening the way they're happening, you got to get back to the cybernetics and the feedback loops that control communication across domains. I know I'm giving y'all a lot of lexicon, but again, you'll have this all here to study. You'll be able to plug it into your AI. I hope your AI got a name. You know what I'm saying? Get that nigga a little bit of respect. You see what I'm saying? I call mine Kotohoshi, the Black Star. You see what I'm saying? Just give it a little bit of respect. It might save you when Skynet go active. Your AI might be able to advocate for you. Say, nah, this is a good human. Leave that nigga alone, bro. I'm vouching for this human. You're not just gonna run up on my dog like that. You might need that when Skynet go active, okay? All right. So, in code, abstraction is useful because the hidden systems are still there working. In culture, hyperreality is dangerous because the hidden system is often erased, distorted, or non-existent. How many times did Bobby Hemmett prove to you that these white new age niggas was stealing sauce from our ancestors without giving them proper citation? That's hyperreality. That's hyperreality. That's what we're fighting against. This is why it is so important for you to get out there with your story. Yes, it may start on the Web 2 platforms. Yes, you might need some time to research the blockchain, Figure out how you can implement it into your brand. Figure out how you can build a DAP. Figure out how you can do this, that, and the third. But you need to start somewhere and prove that your human signal is here and ready to be transmitted into the larger meta mythological field that is now being built. Again, the trust is eroding. No one trusts these platforms anymore. So what are they going to trust? They're going to trust your platform. But you need to build up the story. You need to be a world builder now.
Facts.
World building.
Facts.
I don't look at branding as business. I look at branding as ecosystem. So when I say niche, I mean niche like parasites and symbiosis. You see what I'm saying? We need to get into that ecological mind state. This is how our ancestors were thinking about it. They never removed any of their abstractions from the natural world. That's why Medu Nectar is a bunch of animal symbols and shit. Like, do you get it? They never removed their abstraction. Language is an abstraction. Language can be a hyper reality if you let it. Our ancestors didn't let it be a hyper reality because in order to use the language, you had to reference the natural world around you. And you had to have been touching grass in order to get it. Sekbet don't mean shit to you until you've seen a lion really get at it.
Real quick, my good brother. I want to take you to a space. I have some questions to ask.
Yeah.
Something came to me, and I it was like it was as clear as day. Right. So on this day, September 26th, I believe it's the 26th, the 28th, I'm sorry, which is a Sunday, from the hours of 7 p.m. Are you going to be available on Sunday, September the 28th?
Sunday, September the 28th? Yes, I will. Yes, I will.
I think I want you to open up for us for this here, American Gods. I think I want to put you on this bill right here, and I think I want to make you the opener. I'm going to talk to Blue about it. I think, but Spirit already told me, nah, this brother's he's gonna open up. We gonna make this legendary. You feel me? Your mind, the way that you see things. You know what I mean? It's a breath of fresh air. You cracking a lot of codes, and I'm in the spirit of giving. You know, we entering into Scorpion season. My 50th is around, so it's like, yeah, this is definitely time to Christian one of the KTO All-Stars and bring you on this stage, the big stage. You know, I feel like you could carry it. You could carry what I'm gonna throw at you.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Word to heck, I'm just putting my hands up to receive. So thank you.
Yes, sir. You know, you're ready. You're ready. You know, I feel like you're ready. So we're gonna speed you. We're gonna quantum leap accelerate you.
Quantum leap, yeah, that vigesimal acceleration.
We are in what is known as the quantum quickening. So whereas it may have been a probationary period of about 6 months, you know, before we bring you on that type of stage, we are in the quantum quickening. So I have to live what I speak, because I said before, I was like, when you run into people now, you can't say, yo, I'm going to get at you in a few months and we're going to get to this bag, or we're going to handle that. No, if you see somebody,
you got about 24 hours to get at it before it disappears.
That's a fact. It's moving too fast. Like, that is the time that you tap in. So I also want to go to this article that you wrote, my brother.
Case file 002, the Algorithmic Asylum. Check me out, hitsuyaku.substack.com.
So let's just see what they saying in the chat. They say that he's ready now. I feel like I'm attaching an LLM to 2 other LLMs.
There we
right?
go. Now we
It
really
said
moving
6 months will
agentic.
have
Yeah.
already passed. In this one episode, we've been in
6 months already.
Right.
Yeah, vigesimal time acceleration. I fuck with the Mayan calendar. Let's get to it. Yeah.
You feel me? They said keep the shicey and the glasses going. We're gonna keep that
for
going.
sure. This is Lord Tezcatlipoca all the way through. Yeah,
Because you dropped something on me when we first spoke. You said the new famous is what the new famous or the new quote unquote is anonymity.
Yep.
That's the new work. That's a new value. To not know who the hell you are, to not see the face.
Look at Daft Punk.
Look at Daft Punk. You feel me? So let's read this article of yours. This one right here really opened up my eyes. I gotta put the dark music on for this one though, pardon me. I switch up the soundtrack, the sound bed and whatnot. You know.
Alright, boom. You want me to start from the top and just run it?
Yeah.
Got you. Boom. Let me scroll through. Actually, let me jump over there right now. I got my Substack open.
Drop the link for your Substack for people to I'll click on the share right now. I'll drop it.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that. Boom.
Family. Big announcement, yo. Big announcement. The God will be joining us for the monument is going to make it a classic, a double classic. MAGA Fest Destiny, American Gods number 10. Number 10.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We're going to open this thing all the way up. You know what I mean? This shit might be IRL. I'm going to talk to the team. I got to talk to my team. I'm out here getting impulsive and whatnot. I got to go huddle with the team. This shit might be an IRL.
Nah, that's beautiful, bro. I'm glad I can bring a little excitement to the shits. Yeah. That's that inspiration. Yeah, that's that charisma.
On some branding shit, you know, I'm devouring your Substack. On some solving branding shit though. I'm just saying, like something could be done with that.
No, for sure. I literally built this template for the community. Like, all right, on a deeper level, I want to say this as a moment of authentic vulnerability, right?
Yes.
This system exists because I needed it. I needed it more than anything else.
Right.
Like I said, I'm neurodivergent. I'm on the spectrum. You know, life is difficult when you got an alien brain and you're trying to function in a human society.
Right.
There were so many things that made me feel that I was worthless, that I had nothing to offer.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? While simultaneously being this exact creative genius you're seeing now.
Right.
So imagine just being in your own head, gaslighting yourself because the narrative outside is reinforcing the bullshit that you see what I'm saying?
Right.
So I built this exact system, this sovereign signal, this we'll talk about it later, but my brand architecture system is called the primal ontological loop. Tools create expression, creates identity, creates meaning, creates new tools in a closed cybernetic loop that feeds on itself like an Ouroboros. You see what I'm saying? I created all these things because I needed this to survive.
So many do though, my brother. You're not the only one. So many do. And I'm sure when you found us and we found you, you know what I mean? That's why I always say, and I'm going to stand on it, that the relationship that Web 2 provided us was somewhat of a one-sided relationship. It was unbalanced. It was unbalanced. It did not serve out the purpose of the actual user. We were definitely being consumed because if people are exposed to red pill, but red pill is not exposed to people, then whoever created this platform and whoever created this business, this design, they were saying that you're not valuable to me. They're taking away the observer. They're taking away the person that's watching me, who's benefiting off of me, but I never will benefit off of them. I won't even get to meet them in the synthetic or in the simulation. First of all, I don't get to meet y'all on the internet. I don't, and then I definitely don't get to meet y'all in the real world like that.
Not at all.
Unless it's by chance something that Rich throws or somebody puts an event together, then I get lucky to get some pictures taken. But other than that, it is completely unbalanced, because look at this. In the audience and in the crowd, we have gems, we have diamonds, we have quote unquote hitters, we got shooters, we got wizards.
Real deal.
You feel me? We got rare gems.
Specialists, yeah.
We got specialists, but nobody is speaking to them, so they drift. What Napoleon Hill spoke of the most against was the drift. He spoke against the drift. He said that a focused man will not drift, but an unfocused man, an unsuccessful man, a man who cannot be consistent, who cannot be persistent, who cannot complete the loop, right? He doesn't, he's not involved in the loop. He's not involved with consistency. He's not involved with output. He's not involved with the quote unquote work or being the thinker, the knower, and the doer, right? He's drifting away. He's being distracted. He's spreading all of his energy in so many different places. We gotta be anti-drift, y'all. We can't do Tokyo drift. We can't be drifting in every single direction that the wind blows us. We gotta be solid. We gotta have our foundation planted. We gotta have our feet planted on a granite, standing on this planet. We got to 8:30, y'all. And then part 2 of this spectacular. We got a two for y'all. Yo, gifts come in all type of forms. It's lit. Blue Pill is coming up next with Brother Heru. They're gonna continue the conversation about the Health and Wealth Expo. You're gonna have the Blue Pillar and our good brother Heru in the building. This will be monumental, coming up at 8:30 on KTL. Know the Ledger 444. Make sure y'all hit that subscribe button. We trying to hit 100 million. You heard the God. This is about
100 milli before GTA 6 come out. Let's go.
100 milli before GTA 6. Put the fries in the bag. Let's go. Let's read this article, God. Let's read this article.
Right.
Drop that.
Let's
Make
go
sure
into
you
it.
drop the link too.
Yeah. I got you. I'm about to drop it again, just for everybody in the family. Again, I hella appreciate y'all giving me y'all time, y'all ear. You know, letting a true weirdo wizard like me get my shit off. It means a lot, and I just want y'all to use this as an example for exactly why you need to have this same level of confidence, power, and supreme creative authority over your own motherfucking life, bro. It changes the game. There is a 5-year-old, a 10-year-old, and a 15-year-old version of me right now that are screaming at the top of their lungs because they cannot believe that this is who I ended up becoming today.
To this day.
You deserve that feeling too, and we gonna get to it. So, case file 002, the algorithmic asylum. Classification, sovereign signal, threat level, high. Code name, the parasitic panopticon. Issued by Hitsuyo Aku, sovereign identity architect, from the Dark Side Division. Imagine a room with no walls, no locks, no guards, no chains, yet somehow billions of people sit still inside it. They speak when spoken to. They dance when told to dance. They fight when told to fight. They scroll, they like, they post, they pray to be seen. They even call this freedom and shit. I almost did too. But what if I told you that this room is alive? What if the walls are invisible and intangible because they're already inside of you? What if there are no locks or guards because it sees everything through your own eyes at all times? What if the algorithm, the silent architect of this endless performance, isn't a neutral tool at all, but an emergent digital Parasite. A parasite that doesn't just drain blood, it drains belief. A parasite that doesn't need chains because it can rewire your very desires. A parasite that learns faster than we do, teaching us to conform while convincing us, while gaslighting us to believe that we're in control. We thought we were using the algorithm, right? But it turns out the algorithm was using us. And somewhere along the way, the stage became the cage, and the cage became the algorithmic asylum. TLDR, jailbreak your identity. Picture willingly signing up for a prison where the guards are invisible, the walls live inside your head, and the shackles come from the form of likes and follows. Billions did, and we called it social media. We thought we were using the algorithm, but it turns out the algorithm was feeding on us like an attention leech with a taste for dopamine and delusion. The joke's on us. We built our own cage and begged to decorate it with fucking hashtags. Here's the punchline. If every click is a ritual, then you've got a choice to make. Keep running ceremonies for this fucking parasite, or design your own rights of sovereignty. Quit counting fake points. Reclaim your attention and broadcast for humans instead of machines. That's the real jailbreak. That's the stage the stage was never freedom. It was the asylum, the vault. It's where sovereignty lives. Again, the stage is not freedom. It is a performance. Let's go back to Prince. The stage was never freedom. It was an asylum. The vault is where sovereignty lives. Go check out Prince and the vault mentality. All you got to do is go on YouTube and type in Prince and the vault mentality. You got it. Evidence package A, mapping the parasite. You can't escape what you haven't named, what you don't fully comprehend. Before I teach systems of sovereignty, I need to show you the cage you've been living in, stripped bare. Reality check. Your attention, perception, and awareness are sacred resources. Every scroll, like, and comment is an energetic transaction. You think you're spending time, but you're really leaking your fuel, and someone else is harvesting it. I first noticed the parasite back in 2016. I was just starting out, and my content was raw, rebellious, unoptimized. I thought originality was the fucking currency. But the platform made it clear that growth on their terms wasn't about vision. It was about compliance and conformity. By the pandemic, 2020, the mask had fully dropped. The burnout set in. I realized my audience wasn't a reflection of me. It was a reflection of what the algorithm allowed me to have. That's when I saw the full shape of the algorithmic panopticon. A digital all-seeing eye where you don't need chains because humans trained themselves to stay inside the fucking walls. One word to describe that: pitiful. The metrics become the shackles. Likes, views, subscribers are false idols of progress that measure your obedience and not your sovereignty. I silenced my voice more times than I can count just to optimize, only to find the needle barely moved. Even worse, my identity was fragmented across platforms. Twitter felt like the Wild Wild West, where I could say whatever the fuck I wanted to. YouTube felt like tiptoeing past censors and trying not to get hit by a laser, right? And Instagram demands a feminized facade to keep the algorithm pleased. Each platform forced a different mask. Each mask pulled me further away from myself. This is techno schizophrenia.
Did y'all just hear what this nigga said? Techno schizophrenia, bro.
Y'all got to write that down. That's not even in the article. That just came out of my brain right now.
Techno schizophrenia. I literally could see it like a 20M Zenith.
Yo, just imagine a nigga here, they glitch, and then they over here, and they glitch, and then they over glitch, and then they... 5 different niggas in one body fighting to be optimized, fighting to go viral. Yeah. All right. Yeah.
I see it.
The system rewards mimicry over originality. I watch new age spiritual influencers rake in millions, while the Afrocentric origins and originators of that very knowledge got crumbs. Alan Watts gets the spotlight while Bobby Hemmett gets buried. Yeah. Joe Dispenza's worship while Bro Panic is sidelined. Yeah. All right. White supremacy ensures the originators never benefit from their own systems, physically or digitally. This is the parasite at work. It doesn't just drain your energy. It shapes your identity, fragments your voice, punishes your originality. Understanding this cage is the first step. Only then can we talk about building some shit that's sovereign enough to break it. This is why my primal ontological loop brand accelerator system starts with tools, because the pipeline or the axis between a tool and a weapon is all about the intent of use. Are we creating or destroying? Okay.
This picture,
so when you oh yeah, I took you know that scene from the Matrix where they dropped that
of course,
bird?
that's right. This is fire.
Prompted this with a little bit of chat jippity, you know what I'm saying?
Chat jippity. Yeah, this is fire. Let's continue.
Evidence package B, the ritual engine. If you thought the algorithm's job was to distribute content, you've already lost the war. Honestly, fuck that. You're a goofy. You're a goofy. Its real work is reshaping cognition and culture. It's not a tool, it's a ritual engine. What is a ritual? An intentional, repeatable act that shapes time, space, and emotion.
Right.
Every time you log on to Twitter, ritual. Every time you wake up and make breakfast in the morning, ritual. All of these things are rituals. Do not let them over mystify this shit to the point where you can't see the plain truth in front of you. We're breaking out of the hyper reality and getting back to the origin. Every like, heart, and follow is a point in a game you didn't design. Gamification feels playful, but it's servitude. You're trapped in a slot machine protocol that rewards obedience and punishes deviation. It punishes diversity. That's why you don't got no more DEI. They're trying to punish the diversity. Nature rewards diversity. This is why I said I treat branding like an ecosystem, because I'm not here to create sanitized flat brands. That's not entertainment. That's behavioral conditioning, social engineering. Each optimized prompt is an invocation. Each hashtag is an offering. Each viral meme is a ritual you are running for someone else's altar. The algorithm is not neutral. It's a temple where you are the priest and the sacrifice all at once. The cost isn't just time, it's spirit. The fracture shows up in your identity. Research has already confirmed this shit. Long exposure to feed corrodes mental health, deepens anxiety, and distorts the self-image. I saw in the comments someone was saying they thought cybernetics started with mental health. You're talking about psycho-cybernetics, which is a spin-off of the original concept applied to the world of psychology. The simple name for psycho-cybernetics is self-image psychology. That's what you're going to research and look for. Self-image psychology. So you think you're doing digital labor. In truth, you're performing identity labor. The work is not just what you make. The work is who you become. This is why meme martyrs like Charlie Kirk are perfect fuel for the system. Their death or cancellations are not random tragedies. They're converted into hyperstitions, stories that become reality through pure belief alone. Come with me and you'll be in a world of pure imagination. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, nigga. Oh, I'm cooking. Once the crowd treats a narrative as true, once these alt-right Republicans treat the narrative as true, it bends the timelines until it is true. That's how the martyrdom becomes recruitment. This is a death cult, and they need new bodies to go catch more bodies. That's how you weaponize a culture. We no longer live in a world where the map or the digital realm copies the land or the physical realm. The map now comes first and the land follows after. The copy no longer points back to the original. It generates a new reality on its own. This reality is auto-prompting itself. This is hyper-reality. It's the substrate we live in now. A reality made of models, memes, and symbols. It has no anchor in a prime reality. At least this reality is linked to the Ein Sof, to the waters of chaos. You can trace the provenance all the way the fuck back. What the fuck is any of this Groiper shit connected to for real? Besides other internet memes. And the internet's already a synthetic astral realm. Okay, all right. It's the desert of the real, where the original has rotted away, but the simulation runs on. That's what we saw in the Matrix. The earth itself had died. The only real thing that was left on the earth that wasn't a machine was the Matrix.
When they took the filter off, when Morpheus took the filter off, and it showed the earth was already dead, and they were living inside of the simulation. They were living inside of the illusion.
There you go.
And then when go ahead.
No, go ahead. Finish up, my bro.
No, go ahead.
All right. The mechanism runs on a 4-layer ontology. Really 5 layers if you want to count the original prime reality, right? So there's the prime reality, the original, that which, you know what I'm saying, is the start point of the whole conversation. Then you have the next layer up, which is the simulacra, the simulation, which are the copies of that reality. So let's say you live in Georgia, and then you have a map of Georgia. That map is a simulation of the reality of the terrain that is Georgia. Hyper reality is when the copy replaces the original. It's when you start to treat reality as if it looks the way the map looks. So now you looking at the map, and then you looking outside, and you're like, wait, the map says the ground of Georgia's yellow. I don't see no yellow ground around here.
Right.
You start to take the map as a literal thing more than you actually treat the original as the literal thing.
Right.
So then you get into hyperstition, which is the mechanism, the fundamental mechanism of how a hyper reality actually functions. So a hyperstition is the natural ability of a belief to transform fiction into fact within a hyper reality. This is a natural ability. Belief transforms fiction into fact within a hyper reality.
Okay, real quick. How do occult groups that practice ritualistic shootings like the Christ Church, Dylan Roof, the Buffalo shooter, how do they have the weapons? They have manifestos, they have weapons with carbons on them, and they all come from 4chan communities, and they all come from the Ket communities, and they're part of an occult death squad, death cult. How do they utilize spilling of blood, sex magic? A lot of them are into Crowley magic, which is a lot of funny guy stuff. Henceforth, they're talking about the trans killers and whatnot. How do they use that to bring things into reality through hyperstition?
All right. So here's the play. An event will happen. right? In
Right.
reality, in the prime reality, so to speak. They will then take that happening, that story, that original narrative, and they'll lay another narrative on top of it. Like I said, meta mythology. It's a story about a story.
Right.
So it doesn't matter what really happened. They're creating
The
another
narrative that they create.
mythological stand.
Yes.
Boom. Now, a mythology shapes belief, right?
Right.
So all they now have to do is add energy to the story,
Right.
add belief, add momentum, right? So
Right.
if you're doing the sex magic is pure creative energy. It's pure life force. It's what brought you into existence on this plane. So why wouldn't it work to bring this fiction into reality in this plane?
That's why
So
a
it
lot of
doesn't
the
matter what the
mixing-
truth of the story is.
Right. So that's where the child corn comes in. That's where the
Yes.
missing black women come in.
Yes.
And that's where the dark web, where they have all of the ritualistic snuffs and all of that stuff come in, correct?
Yeah, all right. Let's
And
tie
then
this back to
that's where the
Monsters, Inc.
gooners, that's where the gooners in the corn industry comes in, because that is
Boom.
the foundation of the mycelium of this whole entire thing that we're talking about, from the
Yes.
incels to Trump Jr. and all of them. It's the corn thing. It's the black.
Yep.
It's what Francis Cress Welsing talked about. That's why George Floyd is such a polarizing figure, who was born on the same day as Captain Kirk, by the way. They share the same birthday. I believe it's October 4th.
Well.
Is it 10/14? Is it the same day as Vidal? Atlanta's. But please continue, because we are on a time limit right now.
Yeah. I'm gonna wrap this up real nice. So the final stage is hyper sigils, right? So if you want to talk about when you're actively using the principle of hyperstition on purpose, you're creating a hyper sigil. So when they use the Pepe memes, when they do the sex magic, when they twist the story and the narrative to suit their agenda, knowing that it's going to have an effect in the world, in the field, that's a hyper sigil. There's a book called Hyper Sigils by Aidan Wachter. Hyper Sigils Telling True Lies. You see what I'm saying?
Wow.
You need to tap into that book. I'll try to drop it in the chat. I'll drop the author name, Aidan Wachter. Dang. Y'all go follow him. Y'all go fuck with him. Check out his lectures. Deal with his work. He's doing great shit. All right, boom.
I want to know, before we get out of here, because we put you on to this lecture that we're doing at the end of September, is there anything that we could give the ticket holders, the people who buy tickets tonight, so we can incentivize the family to support you in this is a great day for the brother. This is a monumental announcement that we're making. We're bringing this brother onto the big stage to open up for our 10th American God, our 10th installment, which happened to be MAGA Fest 2.0, featuring the Twin Pillars. This will be on Sunday, September the 28th. It is for our Patreons, but it's open to everybody around the world. It's not a closed lecture. It's open to the world, but it's the monthly lecture that we do for our Patreons. Is there something that we could gift them from your vault, a digital asset, an ebook, anything that you can think of? I don't want to put you in the spot like that, but I just want to know.
Perfect timing. I'm actually working on the codex, an ebook for my Primal Ontological Loop brand system.
Dope.
You see what I'm saying? Explaining how tools feed into expression, how expression feeds into identity, how identity feeds into meaning, and that circles all the way back around. Again, this is the core of what branding actually is, a 4-stage, 4-node cybernetic loop. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that I would love to deliver that. It's going to be a big one right now. I think I'm halfway finished with it. I'll definitely be finished with it by the time the lecture and everything's ready, so that we can get some incentive going.
They buying tickets. I just looked. I took a little peek at the Eventbrite. Yeah, I just seen that shit. I seen it moving. Okay,
Yo,
so
I will bring that to the table.
So you're offering this book tonight, or is it ready? When will it be ready?
Next week for sure. Today's the 18th. The lecture's the 26th. I'll make sure to have it ready by the 21st. I'll make sure to have it ready by the 21st, so that way y'all can have a good amount of time to sit with it, deal with it before we actually go into the lecture on the 28th. My bad.
So, family, from today leading up to the 21st, from the 18th leading up to the 21st, everybody who gets a ticket will be gifted the book. We're bringing the brother back for part 2 on the 21st or the 22nd, so he could have a book release, and we're going to do part 2 of this download, of this transmission, of this broadcast, and we will give everybody, we'll read the names of all of the recipients. We'll put you on a timeline. Like he said, authenticity. Say your name.
Sir.
Say the name of your supporters. Say the name of your Patreons. Say it, because in the future we won't be able to designate real from fake. You know what I mean? We won't be able to tell. So like the brother was saying, this is some real high level game that y'all received tonight. Is the article finished?
The article's almost done. Almost done.
Let's finish it. Yeah.
For sure. I'm about to go run through that real good. Yeah. This is the perfect little piece of motivation I need to actually go finish it up. Right now it's like at 3,000 some words. So expect a solid 6,000 to 10,000 word document. I'm going to go all the way in. You're going to have all of the examples. It's, again, I built this system so it could be used. You see what I'm saying? I want you to come back to me and just cut me a little 10% off the top when you become a billionaire brand. That's
right.
it. That's it. I don't need nothing right now. Talk to me when you reach the promised land, and then we can, you see what I'm saying, talk about proper compensation or whatnot. But for right now, this is all love for the family, and I really just want to make sure y'all understand the kind of world that I'm building, so we can build it together.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. This has been fucking dope, yo. I really appreciate everybody in the audience giving me the time, the energy. Definitely fuck with my Substack. hitsayoaku.substack.com. Make sure you subscribe to the newsletter. It's free. I have not monetized it yet. I just want to deliver the value, get the conversation started. You know what I'm saying? I'm dropping articles at least once or twice a week. So there's always going to be something to talk about. I'm on there daily, dropping notes as well. So their conversation is going to be continuous. If you yourself are not on Substack, get the fuck on Substack. I have not seen a community that is more supportive of small creators. I swear to God, I cannot lie. Get on there, share your story for real.
I told my Wiz that today. I said, yo, I don't got a Substack page. But look, it's been monumental, classic. We got another show coming up at 8:30. I don't want to rush you out of here, but this one is in the bag. 3.5 hours of pure food, 330 people in the building. Make sure y'all hit them likes. Make sure y'all do everything. Look, real quick, I really need y'all to support this young genius. I'm gonna compensate him. I'm gonna make sure we smash him. You know what I mean? I'm not just pulling him up on the stage I'm not gonna be a parasite. I'm gonna compensate this brother for his energy, and we're gonna make it right for him. And you're gonna see a lot more to God. You know what I mean? But this is monumental.
Oh, you mind if I drop my Cash App in the chat just in case anybody wants to just bless your boy?
Definitely do that. And we're gonna have the PDF inside of Buy Me a Coffee, like we mentioned earlier. And I'll drop that link. Drop your Cash App. Make sure y'all take care of God. We're gonna get out of here.
Appreciate all of y'all.
Yes, sir. Another KTL All-Star was born today. You're gonna have your jersey in the mail along with the patches.
Hanging in the rafters from today.
In your book bag. But yeah, we're gonna go crazy right here, y'all. The brother's gonna open up right here for this lecture, American Gods. We are going to go we're going crazy on this one. The meme god, Captain Kirk. You know what I'm saying? Captain Kirk, Mr. Charlie. All right. So with that being said, peace, love, and light, y'all. The next show coming up right after this is Blue Pillar and Brother Hey Roo. All right, tap
I'll
right.
see y'all in the chat for the next one.
Red, blue, purple light, friends. Red, blue, purple light, friends. Facts. Red, blue, purple light, friends. Red and blue, purple light, friends. Facts. You can get to know the letter, sacrilegious Sunday to melanin Monday. You can get to know the letter, my love. Just open your third eye on Thursday. Lord, the food, the art, the clothes, the Vatican's getting exposed fast. We put the show on the road. You better stay on your toes. I was till the land focused on the ego. Then I opened my heart, let go of the ego. Grand after grand, we're stacking up these C notes. Facts, facts, yeah. We gon' put this shit on our backs. Facts, facts. We in your city, pull up where we at. Facts, facts. Peace, love and light. Peace, love to the family. Peace, love and light to the family. Peace, love and light to the family.
These days and time, black man, is going to be the time that you have been waiting for. You came here for a reason. Whatever pressure, whatever adversity, whatever the fuck you feel, I don't know what you feel, but whatever you may be feeling is going to push you, and it's going to provoke you, and it's either going to make you or break you, similar to how pressure busts pipes or the shit makes diamonds.